New seasons, new gear. Show the world what it means to be a fan in 100% authentic gear. Fanatics, officially licensed everything.
Get ready to dive into a new world of online shopping with the Fins Tailgate. Whether you're a die-hard sports fan or just looking for the latest fashion trends, we've got you covered. With a wide variety of products from your favorite sports teams to stylish accessories and home decor, we're your one-stop shop for all things tailgate. Our easy-to-use website and hassle-free checkout process make shopping with us a breeze. Plus, with frequent sales and discounts, you won't want to shop anywhere else. So come on in and join the party at the Fins Tailgate, your new go-to destination for all things tailgate.
May I have your attention, please? This is a TFTG announcement. Late Night Exhale will begin Saturday, 10 p.m. Be there.
I'ma get it, you know I be on the way. Yeah. You know I be on the way. Man on a mission, I'ma get it, you know I be on the way. Yeah, it's all hard, ain't no fear here. You ain't giving this to all, you steer clear. Never beat, I've been down and I reappear. You got some money on the line, you better put it here. Rolling in and doing that work. Check priorities, I'm doing that first. Check's big and I'm sure that hurts, but it's checkmate, we ain't selling short, know the work. Ain't nowhere to hide, you ain't gotta see me come and keep me on your mind, cause I be on the way. Yeah. You know I be on the way. Man on a mission, I'ma get it, you know I be on the way. Yeah, man we coming for them bags, if they said I couldn't have, get the chain. Here's the motto, hard work is over everything. It's that comeback. I'm calling plays, hit the pass, then the run back. Yeah, I'm far ahead and gotta run laps. But we ain't letting up, we never done that. Ain't nowhere to hide. You ain't gotta see me come and keep me on your mind. Cause I be on the way. Yeah. You know I be on the way. Man on a mission, I'ma get it, you know I be on the way. On the way. Yeah, on the way. I'm on the way. I'm on the way.
Good morning, Fin fans. It's one hell of a flippin' morning. How's everybody doing? I am your host, Ali the Persian. How's everybody doing? Today's a great show. Yes, it is going to be a special episode of the Top of the Tailgate. Yes, we start at 8 o'clock today. We decide because it's a holiday, we'll let people sleep in, maybe you did some drinking and partying too much on a Sunday, like myself, gotta take it a little bit easy on the holiday. Today's a Monday. And, I just wanted to rest a little bit, to be honest. Make sure you can hit like and subscribe in the chat. Put it in the chat if you can hear me okay. I want to make sure I have a little bit of a new setup today, and I want to make sure everybody can hear me. I really appreciate that. So as we start every show, we say hit like and subscribe. And make sure while you're hanging out with us, check out some of our other content. We got the El Capitan shoe. We got color or cup of coffee. I'm sorry. Coffee and a cup of color. Apologize, color. And you got myself on top of the tailgate. We got late night exhale. We got broken takes up in here. All this different content we got coming towards you. We got Shake Money with the drive times and smoke lounges and every other show that he has. You got Lewis, going on with crypto and with Shake Money. And even doing this Twitter Spaces. Check out Lewis's Twitter Spaces. Make sure you follow everybody on this part when it comes to Twitter. Make sure you follow everybody because we put out Twitter Spaces, we put out information. We let you know what's going on with TFTG, upcoming shows. Definitely follow us on Twitter. And you got KP in the fantasy talk, right? I love KP talking about fantasy football. Wednesday, it's going to be a special show. I can't wait. With the fantasy draft, it's going to be a lot of fun. And then you got crypto going Mondays and Thursdays with the crypto talk. I love it. I love crypto stuff. And then don't forget the OG Tonk is back with TMI Tuesdays. Check out his show as well. A lot of shows coming up. We have a lot of stuff lined up that's coming. It's going to be really crazy. I really appreciate that. Just want to make sure if you guys can hear me okay, please put it in the chat. I just want to make sure you guys can hear me. Also, don't forget to hit like and subscribe, turn on the notification bell. If you want a little bit more exclusive access or a little bit more sorry about that. If you want a little bit more content and notification a lot faster, check out becoming a member. We got 3 different, levels. We have Amigos, Familia, and MVP. You get exclusive content. You get exclusive emojis to banter with in the chat. You got, you get a little bit more stuff depending on what level you're at. But definitely check that out. In addition, if you'd like to donate to the channel, well, one way to donate to the channel, it's a lot easier to help the content keep afloat and everything. Become a member. It's really inexpensive. I think the first level is like $2 or $3 a month. It's really inexpensive. And then we also accept Cash App, Venmo, or even super chats or super stickers. You don't have to donate, but we really appreciate it. We use all those funds to just come back with more content for you guys. That's all we use. We reinvest it, to be honest. So definitely check out that. And then shout out to our, if you look out in the description below, check out some of our affiliates. We got Fanatics. Get your officially licensed everything from hats, t-shirts, to jerseys, even this sweatshirt that I have that I'm wearing right now. Check out Fanatics. They always got deals going on. Use our link. Our link tells them that we sent you, so it gives a little bit credit to the channel. But it's the same link that you can go directly to them. There's no difference beyond that. So really appreciate that. Backroom collection. If you're looking for some cool artwork to hang virtually anywhere, even in maybe your bathroom or maybe some type of living room or out in the patio or maybe your place of business, doesn't matter. Check out Backroom Collection. They have a ton of canvas artwork for Miami Dolphins and other sports alike. So definitely check that out. That also being said, check out Dubby Energy Drink. You're going to need all that energy to be able to watch all these shows we're going to be putting out. So definitely check out Dubby Energy Drink. They have a variety of different flavors. It's all crash, snow smash. Basically, you don't get that, crashing and stuff that you do with a lot of other energy drinks that are out there. With that also being said, you don't get the jittering. There's not a lot of harmful byproduct compared to some of the other energy supplements. There's more vitamins and minerals that give you that all natural caffeine and energy, and also helps benefit the brain, and also more of a focus and concentration area. You know what I mean? It's all natural and it helps the body a little bit. With that being said, if you don't take my word for it, check out Shake Money's show. He actually has some really good reviews that he's done on it. He does a new flavor on out of the starter pack on his Saturday show. But he also has a video that his first time reviewing and trying it out. So definitely check out to see what he thinks. And that being said, right now they have a really good deal over at Dubby Energy Drink. It looks like you can use code LABOR, LABOR, for Labor Day, obviously, and save up to 35% off of your order. So definitely check out Dubby Energy Drink, right? Use code LABOR. Outside of Labor Day, that's good for today. But outside of Labor Day, let's say tomorrow you go there, you use code TFTG at checkout. You'll save 10% off at Dubby Energy Drink or 10% off at Backroom Collections. So shout out to all of our affiliates. We appreciate you guys. Definitely check out the links below. We got a lot of stuff. Also check out tftgnetwork.com. It's your one-stop shop for TFTG everything. Really? For real. They got everything there. All of our videos you can see there, all of our playlists, as well as up-to-date Miami Dolphin news, Twitter news. I'm even going to be posting up articles. I have some articles from the past that I wrote. Check those out. But once the season starts officially this week, less than 6 days. Definitely check that out, because when it starts, I'm going to start creating an active blog that will be updated throughout the season as we move along and the storyline starts creating itself. So definitely check that out. You can also check out our merch store. All of the merch that we have there has been inspired by you guys, the audience, from the members, the subscribers, the people that came up on the panel. Everybody had a part in it. There's something for everybody on that merch store. It's not your normal merch store. So definitely check it out. It's not just t-shirts and hats. They got everything. Cookware, freaking blankets, towels, purses for the ladies. They got everything and anything in there. Definitely check it out. And if you sign up for the newsletter, you can also get 10% off your first purchase as well. So shout out to our affiliates. Did the rundown. Shout out to everybody in the chat right now. Let's see who we got in here. Mr. Pawk with the very first tweet of the day. Shout out. Kenna Rankin, how you doing? Joe Levesque, Adam Sadowski, Jamie Reichard, Heather Long, still with her frappuccinos. Yep. Let's see who else. Shake Money. Shake, come on up, man. The color's not here today, not yet at least. I haven't heard. Let me see if he messaged me. Hold on, he may have. Yeah, I don't see it here either. Caller, anybody from TFTG, come on up. You guys know what the link is. If you need it, just message me. Let's see. Adam Sadowski, C. Hoffel, Northwest Ohio guy. How's it going? I see. 72 undefeated. Can't even talk. 72 undefeated morning, sir. Definitely morning to everybody. Make sure you hit like and subscribe. We appreciate it. I got I'm getting messages. What are they saying? Let me see if I'm like Adam Schefter. Let's see what we got. Any news? And okay. What is coffee of the day? You're absolutely right. Coffee of the week, right? So today's coffee of the week is kind of special, to be honest. And I'm drinking, let me bring up their information, because I got information on them. And let me bring this up. Here we go. One moment. Okay, so I'm drinking Cafe Casa Grande's House Blend. Now, again, that's Cafe Casa Grande. They're a Puerto Rican coffee manufacturer. And got an alarm going off in the back. Sorry about that. And a good friend of mine's father works for the company, and she turned me on to it. And I'm telling you, it's starting to become one of my favorite coffees. That being said, the coffee it's a medium blend, the one I'm drinking. It doesn't have like that bitter taste that you get with some of the other coffees. It's not very oily. It's just right, surprisingly. And it's really good. I'm not gonna lie. So definitely check out Cafe Casa Grande. You can buy it at Walmart, Amazon, online. You can go to their website, which is actually gustoscoffeeco.com. And to give you a little bit more information about who they are, Gusto's Coffee Company. They were founded in the spring of 1999. Gusto's Coffee Company was founded by Daniel Omar Torres and Grisel Leon, a mutual admiration for coffee driven by their newfound love, fueled by their passion for the industry. The challenges they faced along with the way was surpassed by the natural resilience which gave way to the elaboration of the finest Puerto Rican specialty coffees. That is correct. They use 100% Arabica beans, just so you guys know. Really good stuff. They have a premium blend. This company is really interesting. They're one of the few companies that give an SCA certification for coffee. I was going to tell Color about this if he was up here with me. They actually have a whole class in like a university to become a coffee specialist. It's really interesting, actually. But yeah, check out gustoscoffeecompany.com. You can order directly from there. They have a variety of different flavors. They even have premium blends that you can only get there. It's really great Puerto Rican coffee. So shout out to my Puerto Ricans that are watching. This is some good stuff. So I definitely appreciate it. You guys can hold on for me one moment. I'm going to take care of this noise in the background real quick. Be right back. All right, and I'm back. Sorry about that. My wife left her phone out and her alarm, 8 o'clock alarm is going off like crazy. All right. So let's keep it moving. It's currently 6:18, 84 degrees in Miami. Today's high of 88 degrees. Currently, it says here that it feels like 88. Today's 62% humidity. It's partly cloudy. Slight chance of rain this afternoon with 15%. Hopefully it stays a beautiful Labor Day, to be honest, because I want to go to the beach. After this show, I'm going to the beach. That's what I'm doing. So put in the chat, what do you guys do on Labor Day? Do you guys just hang out and barbecue? What do you guys do? So, oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Jamie Reichart says that have a nice haircut. Thanks. Had to get it cut before the season, as I always do. I usually let it grow out during the season. So by the end of the season, I'll have like longer hair. I'll look like a beach bum, something like that. Definitely. So appreciate that. Shout out to everybody else that is joining the chat currently. I appreciate. Make sure you hit like and subscribe. So what do you guys do on Labor Day? Just curious. Put it in the chat. Let's keep it moving. Cause for cleats. Today's cause for cleats happens to be related actually to our coffee company, Gusto's Coffee, right? They have their own foundation. Let me read about that. Gusto's Foundation. Together we can restore our coffee agriculture. Over 18 million coffee trees were lost. Following the devastation of Hurricane Maria, coffee farms in Puerto Rico suffered a massive collective loss, upwards to 18 million trees, leaving farmers full of uncertainty with little to no future in sight. Previous low-yielding coffee seasons in the mountains of Yauco, I apologize if I didn't say that correctly. My Puerto Rican friends apologize. Were about to be replenished just as farmers readied themselves for a fruitful harvest. The Category 5 storm brutally struck the island, causing widespread destruction. Your donations and support local farmers. Puerto Rico's coffee agriculture needs your help. So they're looking for donations, any way you can help. Responsibility and commitment. Providing a lasting solution as part of our responsibility and commitment towards a sustainable future. Gusto's Foundation currently supports 100 registered coffee farmers every year by donating each 1,000 ready-to-plant Fronton, Lemania, and Obata coffee trees. Sorry if I did not say those words correctly. I'm sorry. By choosing these royal resident varieties, we'll be aiding our farmers to plant a more prosperous and brighter tomorrow. So check out gustoscoffeecode.com/foundation. Your coffee purchase provides 100 local farmers with ready to plant trees. Um, and you can go there to read about their impact, how they're helping and whatnot. So definitely check out Gusto's Foundation. And we have a special guest. And as we do with all of our special guests, we'll give them some good music. You know what? I'll give them colors music, island music. Here we go. I don't know if you no, that's why. Here we go. Jake Money.
Hey, what's going on, man?
Not much, man. How's it going?
Good, good. Wrong island, but yeah, it's good island music.
I didn't say what kind of island.
No.
Music, though.
I got you, no problem.
Yeah.
I'm just messing with you.
No, it's all good, man. How's it going? How's everything?
Good.
Yeah. What are you drinking?
My mushroom coffee, as always.
Mushroom coffee. I love it. I got something else coming tomorrow, but over the weekend, my wife's best friend, Lisette, shout out to her. She gives me this stuff. She says,
Good morning, Jamie. Go ahead.
Pardon me?
I was saying good morning, Jamie.
Oh, okay, yeah. Good morning, Jamie, definitely. And she gives me this stuff, and she goes, my dad works for this company. You gotta try it. I was like, okay. It is becoming one of my favorites, and I'm not kidding. It's not overpowering. The aroma is really good. The taste is just right. It's not too light. It's not too dark. It's not nutty. It's not oily. It's weird. It's like one of my, like almost the perfect coffee in my opinion. And it's not a normal Keurig cup that I'm using either. And that might be something about it. I might have to try another style of this format of coffee. And what I mean by that, most 100% of the coffees I've been trying on here and reviewing have been the Keurig K cup, right? Or some type of pod of some kind. This, I use the universal filter and actually put the coffee grounds into it. So maybe I'm getting a fresher cup, you know what I mean? Maybe that's what the difference is. I'll have to try another brand like that and see if there's a similar or if it's just this coffee is that good. So, yeah, that's my coffee. And their cost for cleats was interesting. From what I understand, there's a lot of history when it comes to coffee in Puerto Rico. And it's very devastating that their farmers, had to go through that during one of the hurricanes that destroyed 1,800 coffee trees, or actually 18 million coffee trees. I'm sorry, something like that is what I read. So it was really cool to see that they have a foundation that they're giving away, giving them trees to be able to plant and everything to help regrow and keep it going. That's a really cool foundation. So I figured I'd shout out to that. Yeah, but what else is going on? What are you doing today? It's Labor Day. You just hanging out? Like, what are you doing?
I was actually mowing my lawn listening, but I said I'll come in and show some support.
Get out of the heat for a minute.
Well, really, it wasn't that hot, but I figured I'll come in, show some love and then fill in until color comes through.
Yeah, if he does come, I'm not sure if he is coming today.
Yeah, well,
so we'll see.
We did the last holiday together, so why not?
Oh yeah, definitely, man. We definitely did the last holiday. I forgot about that.
4th of July.
Yeah, that's 4th of July. That's right. Check out that episode. That was a really good episode, actually. So yeah. I mean, it's I plan on taking my daughter to the beach. We're gonna go to JC Park. They just recently redid it. They have this really awesome looking playground. They have the beach and it's like a park and everything. It's really nice. We're planning on throwing my daughter's birthday there, so we're taking there to show it to her and make sure she's cool with the place and everything. So, yeah, that's what we're doing. Let's bring up our next segment. What in the world? It's everybody's favorite segment, right? So let's bring up what in the world. First of all, it's been a great weekend of sports, right? Football is back, college football. Shout out to the Florida team that did make the win. Unlike other Florida teams, Shake Money. Florida State proves to be a legit contender with win over LSU as transfer stars shine, right? By the end of the night, after a healthy dose of miscues, bizarre plays, and big moments of which were eventually drowned out by the chants from the crowd wanting to explode, Florida State left no doubt. Sure, its game against LSU was tight for a while. In fact, it felt like Seminoles might be a heap of trouble going up against a roster loaded with talent early on. As the game progressed, however, Florida State found itself as the touchdowns mounted. A potential path to the playoff and national championships started to crystallize. Florida State has been in the mud for quite a while, in my opinion.
Yeah, they had 2 back-to-back losing seasons.
Yeah, they have not. They really haven't been the Florida State of old. Not during the Bobby Bauer era, or even Joe. What was his name? The guy that went to Texas A&M. You know, that was the last time I think they were even a contender or close to it, in my opinion. Right now, this team looked good last night. It was an exciting game. It wasn't like, it kept very interesting. You know what I mean? You were watching a bit of it while we were in the meeting.
I was just keeping track on ESPN. I don't watch
it was really
listen, my college sports teams are like my orgasms. I only care about mine.
Damn, Jake, remember this is a morning show, bro. Oh man.
I only watch Gator games as far as college is concerned.
Yeah. I just thought there was nothing else to watch. I put it on just for a little bit. It was a going back and forth game, so it was pretty interesting. And my college team, you know who it is. I love the Buckeyes. I'm an Ohio State fan coming through. And for me, we didn't have the best of game. We won. We definitely won the game. But there's a lot of questions still to be had, primarily on the quarterback side. The quarterback play was at times is abysmal. The starter had 243 some yards, no touchdowns, and an interception. You know, it was the rushing game that brought in the touchdowns and whatnot. Marvin Harrison Jr. went down with an injury early on, but came back, so he's perfectly fine. I think it's just a matter of getting the talent from the quarterback position. That's where they're kind of lacking. You know what I mean? We need to get that talent. So if I'm on the recruiting trail, just so you know, I'm looking for the best quarterback I can get. To be honest, that's what I'm doing.
At the end of the day, look, I don't care if Florida doesn't win not one game this season. I'm still gonna be flying that back behind me. So,
I'm still doing the same thing, bro. I'm just bantering with you because you know the Gators lost.
I'm talking about the haters in the chat.
Oh, there's haters in the chat. Okay.
Which I appreciate when they come to watch that's what a lot of them were trolling me during the game, which is fine. You know, I appreciate it because that's a win for the channel. So
yeah, definitely. That being said, let's move on to another Florida team. So Miami, shout out to University of Miami. We will definitely give you credit. You guys won your game against Miami of Ohio. Yeah. Now a lot of people like to call Miami of Ohio the fake Miami. But come to find out, they're not the fake Miami. They're the OG Miami. The fake Miami is University of Miami, to be honest. No shade intended, just speaking facts.
And they're a fake university, too.
Say what? Say that?
And they're a fake university, too.
Ooh, fake university. Look at that. Miami of Ohio has been founded since 1805. I didn't know this. They have a long history, right? Back from the colonial days almost. And they're furthermore, that being said, Miami University or University of Miami here in Miami, they were founded in 1925. So there's over 100 more years in existence Miami of Ohio has. So I just thought that kind of interesting. I wasn't surprised Miami won the game, you know. It's been a long time since Miami of Ohio had a winning team, to be honest, when it comes to college sports, all the way back from when Ben Roethlisberger was was a quarterback there. He's an alpha product of Miami of Ohio. So shout out to him and shout out to Miami, Ohio fans. So appreciate your participation. But Miami Hurricanes took the win and well deserved. We'll see what happens.
I agree.
So, but this week did not leave any stone unturned, so to speak. We had quite a few stuns that happened during this week in college sports. You even had Colorado, Deion Sanders' new team, right? Back in prime time by stunning number 17 TCU, right? Hell of a game. Deion Sanders' son at quarterback is starting to show that he's legit, bro. I'm very impressed with Colorado. They just stunned a top talented team. It's ranked, and looking at their schedule, they could have a way to possibly move their way all the way into the college playoff, possibly. There's some other teams that maybe that might be some competition, but it's very interesting to see what happens. You know what I mean? I'm very excited to see what he does being at a Power 5 school and everything. Speaking of Power 5 schools, Pac-12 is getting hit again and again. It is ridiculous what's happening with the Pac-12, right? Now Stanford, SMU, and I want to say it's California all left the Pac-12. Actually, two of them left the Pac-12 and now are part of the ACC. So more teams are jumping ship. And that takes me to this next part about what in the world. NIL and the reckoning of college athletics. When you give someone an inch to placate their desire for a mile, don't be surprised when they still ask for a mile. For college football players and other student athletes, name, image, and likeness deals were not the final step in fixing the flawed system that is college athletics, but rather a first stride towards meaningful and deserved compensation. This was published on Deadspin Sports, NIL and Reckoning. It's by Sean Beckwith. Shout out to the author. However, most conversations about college football this season have skewed negative as the usual mix of hype for a new year was pushed out by more apocalyptic disclosure. Whether it's conference realignments, gambling scandals involving players or coaches, NIL money, or the transfer portal, everybody from the administrators to the players is at fault. Why some of the rancor is justified, there's a distinct difference between college officials destroying traditions and rivalries under the guise of financial security, an unpaid workforce forced to fend for themselves because they don't actually have financial security. UCLA backup quarterback Chase Griffin said, pushback aimed at the players is misguided and not too different from the criticism levied in previous instances when barriers have been broken. I think every time you've seen in society in general, but especially in sports, everything that promotes equity and progress within the sports industry, there have been people who have said this is going to be a downfall, Griffin told Deadspin. With the integration of major professional sports and Jackie Robinson, people said people weren't going to watch baseball anymore. That sport grew. When it came to Title 11, people said giving women scholarships would be the end of male sports. Ann Myers Drysdale was the first college athlete female on scholarship, and college sports grew as a result of it. The same mindset has been applied to the NIL money and the transfer portal, according to Griffin, but that hasn't stopped media outlets from paying billions of dollars for TV rights or prevented fans from watching. Jason Stahl, head of College Football Players Association, said the baseline for the narrative comes from folks in charge who can't shake the idea that they're glorified guidance and counselors to these players. There's an infantilization of college athletes by those in the administrative class, whether it be conferences, the NCAA, or the members' institutions. These stakeholders look at college athletes and especially college football players as kids, right? Question mark, Stahl said. They're kids. We know that what's best for them. We will tell them what's best for them. If they stop out of line, if any shape or form, boy, we really want to put them back in their place. That attitude persists among the administrative class, as the evidenced by the NCAA President Charlie Baker's preference in solutions in course to correct NIL money and the transfer portal. It's a game of tug of war, with one side anchored in the past and the others left trying to find a way forward with little help and, in some cases, active hindrance. Well, the biggest thing for me is they are right. It is kind of a tug of war. You can place blame on everybody when it comes to the NILs and the issues with college football. You can blame the schools, you can blame the players, you can blame the organizations and people that levy money towards the schools. You can blame, the media. You can blame everybody, right? I do think that college students should be, or college athletes should be paid. The question is, should they be paid the millions of dollars that they get paid? Shake money. Should we allow players just up and abandon schools anytime they want? Oh, I don't want to play for this team anymore. Let me go ahead and put in a transfer portal and move to a different school. You know what I mean? Are these issues really issues? Or should we just let them go and see where we lie? What do you think?
Well, see, the thing about it is why I like the transfer portal for two reasons. Number one, it's kind of like the off season. It's like now you're kind of looking forward to see who's going where. It's kind of like free agency for college.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And the second thing is you got to realize that a lot of these recruits are saying one thing and then doing another. So if a team isn't keeping up with their side of the deal, I think side of their agreement, I think every player has a right to leave, because hey, my goal is to go to the NFL, and by me staying here, it's going to hinder my growth. So I'm going to go somewhere where I'm appreciated and I'm utilized correctly, so I could maybe get that next opportunity down the line.
Yeah, I definitely understand that perspective. I think for me, it's like, I think there needs to be just a little bit of limit put on the not the NIL. I'm sorry. That is a whole different story, but I think there should be a limit put on the transfer portal, just a little bit. And what I mean by that is I've seen a lot of wasted talent go to the wayside and go to a different team and get even more wasted. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And it ruined that person's ability to be able to get to the NFL. I think that to make this fair to the school and make it more fair for the player to make sure that they know they're making the best decision, maybe they should put like a 2-year, like your freshman and sophomore year, you can't just up and leave the school. After your sophomore season's over, then you can. You know what I mean? Put like a 2-year limit on it before you can up and move schools.
Well, you can only transfer once, so they gotta be careful when they transfer. So
you can only transfer once.
Yeah,
Are you sure about that?
Understanding, yeah, from my understanding, you can only transfer once. Check it out.
Look into that. That's something I didn't know. I swear I saw a player transfer more than once. One moment here. Just looking that up real quick. All right. Well, I'll keep the show moving because I'll have to look into that.
Okay.
Oh, here. How many times can you transfer colleges? NCAA allow transferring more. Okay. NCAA colleges allow transferring more than once,
Okay.
but some transfers could incur penalties, especially if you're transferring to a four-year college for a second time. Let's suppose you want to transfer to your third, fourth-year school. Let's also suppose that previous two-year college you attended offered you your sport. It's hypothetical transfer. It is allowed, but with a penalty of sitting out a year. So they may have to sit out a year when they do that.
Yeah,
You know
well,
what I
that's
mean?
how it was originally. I remember when you back in the day, if you transferred, you had to sit out a year.
Yeah, you also have to have like a minimum GPA of 2.0, which I didn't know about. There's certain rules when it comes to junior colleges. Yeah, there's quite a bit of rules about transferring. I have to look further into that to learn more about it. But what I'm saying is, I just don't think it should be like so easy where you can just jump ship and leave. Like, for example, Quentin Ewers, right?
Mhm.
Quentin Ewers is the quarterback at Texas, and Quentin Ewers decided to I forget how he termed it, but basically he graduated high school early and enrolled early into Ohio State, so he could be part of that year's recruiting class rather than the next year's, right? I think he was supposed to be in like 2020 one, and he decided to be part of 2020 recruiting year. Basically, that's basically what happened. And he took on a huge NIL deal and everything. Was 1 year at Ohio State. At that time, they had a starter at the time, and I believe it was CJ Stroud was the starter at that time. And then he turns around and decides to say, well, you know what? I've been here 1 year. I'm not the starter, and I'm out. He just went ahead and transferred to the University of Texas. Why join the team for 1 year knowing you weren't going to be the starter? You know what I mean? And then jump to go. It was just to get the NIL money. I think that's basically what it was.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I don't understand. It's like a money grab, and I don't like that. I don't like seeing that from players, because part of me, I think as a collegiate athlete, you got to have some loyalties, and I think loyalties is everything here, and that's something I think that takes away from it. You know what I mean? The loyalty. You know what I mean? Why should we recruit and spend all these thousands of dollars to recruit players that aren't going to be loyal, to the school? That's just my opinion. What do you think about that? Do you think NILs like take away from loyalty? Do you think it ruins the game because of that?
Well, before we do that, listen. The day I root for the Seminoles or the Canes is the day I start watching women's cricket. I'd rather watch women's cricket than to become fans of those. I'd stop watching football altogether if I had to become one of those fans. But anyway, the NIL deals, whatever. Again, we live in a capitalist society, and we have to take the good with the bad. So, at the end of the day, I think this is the new paradigm we're moving in, and I embrace it fully, good and bad.
Okay. Yeah, I agree with you. It has good and bad. I think we just gotta keep it moving and see where it ends. But I do think that that's the one issue that I have with NIL. I definitely agree they should be paid for it and all that stuff. But I just don't like how you can manipulate it to create money grabs. You're getting money grabbed for Ohio State, and you're turning around and getting money grabbed for Texas. You know what I mean? I just kind of wish there was a little bit more loyalty in the matter of the fact. That's just my opinion, though.
Yeah,
that's
but
where I'm with it. So.
Well, and here's the thing: once you're loyal in college, then all of a sudden you go to the pros and you get a nice kick in the nuts. That, hey, this isn't a loyalty business anymore. It's all about the money.
Yeah, that's true. It is all about the money. Let's keep it moving with what in the world in sports here, and then we'll get on to some football.
That's what's up.
One World Sports. So what happened?
No, just looking at that picture.
Oh yeah. So report Cardinals would owe Kyler Murray $37 million in 2024, $29 million in 2025, and $26 million in 2026 in injury guarantees if he can't pass a physical before March, per Mike Florio. Florio suggests Cardinals might keep Murray on the PUP list throughout the 2023 season to have to avoid paying some of these guarantees that he has. And this is being talked about right now. They believe that Kyle Murray might get kept on the PUP list to keep him away from getting injured, so they don't have to pay, it's like 90-some million in guarantees, and it'll make it easier for them to move off of him after the season. What do you think about that? That's kind of crazy. They went out of this way to sign him to this controversial contract, and now after 1 year, they're like, "Yeah, we made a mistake. We need to get off of you." What do you think?
Well, what's good for the goose is good for the gander, because at the end of the day, there's been, like, for instance, the Xavier Howard contract. He didn't want to play. When a player doesn't want to play, doesn't like their contract, they hold out. But if they're underperforming, it's okay. You know what I'm saying? So I think if a player has the right to protest his contract if he overperformed, then I think the owner should have to do the same thing when that player underperforms. So, like everybody says, oh, it's a business. It is a business, so it should work for both sides. So if you're overperforming and you feel like you deserve a better deal, I don't mind you voicing it, but at the same time, you should allow the other side to do the same.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I do think they should allow the other side to do the same. It's really interesting. I kind of think, with these big contracts, I learned quite a bit of different things recently. I think it was Lombardi, I think is his last name. They were talking to him about it, and essentially, depending on the type of guarantee that you have with these NFL contracts, the money has to be front loaded and put into an NFL escrow, which I didn't know about, right? And if you only have one of these guarantees, such as an injury guarantee, and that's it, then it doesn't have to be escrowed. But it's basically, there's loopholes around it that these teams can get out of paying it. And basically how do I put this? It's kind of shady that you're putting somebody on the PUP list in a way to not have to pay them. You know what I mean? There has to be some medium in the middle that they meet and negotiate and say, okay, you want me to leave, and let's negotiate a severance package here. You know what I mean? So you don't have to pay him the $92 million. But there has to be a more kosher way to get out of the deal. Do you see where I'm coming from? Do you agree with that?
Yeah, they put him on the PUP list so they won't play.
Yeah, so he doesn't get injured. So if he doesn't get injured, they don't have to pay him $92 million in guarantees. They can still move off him. He's just not getting the $92 million in guarantee. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and then again, that's why I said the two-way street, because when a player doesn't feel like he's getting the value he deserves, he puts himself on PUP as well. So he could kind of hold the team hostage. Hey, you don't want to pay me my money? Oh man, my leg feels bad today.
My leg feels bad.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, technically he could. I mean, not saying that he would do it, but this is the NFL, and you've seen weirdest stuff. I mean, he could get himself. He could walk into the building and trip over somebody and hurt his leg and be like, "Oh, I was at work. $92 million guaranteed." So what are they gonna say? Even though it happened in their building, it's a non-football injury. I mean, I don't know. There has to be ways around it, I guess. I don't know. We'll see what Kyler Murray's camp does. But if you're trying to move off of the guy, you should have thought of that prior to signing to a massive contract. Just saying. It's kind of
all the signs were there. All his, it's not like he was. Everything that he was doing prior to getting the big contract, he you know what I'm saying, all the red flags that you saw after he signed the contract were there before he signed the contract.
Absolutely, I absolutely agree with that. Let's keep it moving with the world of sports. The next thing was kind of interesting. I think this is kind of well deserved. Hall of Famer linebacker Ray Lewis has been voted the most dominant non-QB player in the 21st century, according to FON NBC. Who else do you think should have been considered? Lewis was 13-time Pro Bowler on the Ravens, also earning 10 All-Pros, 2 Defensive Players of the Year. There might be some other players, but Ray Lewis was dominant. Even in his last year, he played very well. He got the Super Bowl win. The guy isn't just dominant on the field. He's dominant, in pretty much everything he does. Let it be in the locker room, motivational speaking. There's been a lot of things that Ray Lewis has done over the years. It's been very impressive. What do you think? Do you think he deserved it?
I agree. By the way, Jamaican from Zion. I don't know what game you win last night. Did they play? Did some team play last night? I have no idea. Was there football? I don't know what we were referring to, but anyway. Listen.
Oh man.
Now, when they talk about Christian Wilkins, Christian Wilkins is the straw that stirs this defense. He's the leader of the locker room. No. This is a leader. I tell you what, when the Ravens didn't have Ray Lewis, they were a totally different defense. Same players, 10 players on that field. It was not the same defense without Ray Lewis. Ray Lewis,
100%, bro. 100%.
When you think leader of a defense, captain of the defense, heart and soul of a defense, that's what you think of. I don't think of Christian Wilkins.
Yeah, he was it. He's what we want Christian Wilkins to be, in my opinion. And, if Christian Wilkins could bring up that physicality and destroy, the opposing players and get the sacks and everything, he could be up there. But I do think that Ray Lewis is well deserved. He, in my opinion, consistently did it throughout his career. So, shout out to Ray Lewis. I can't think of a lot of players that I even consider at that level, to be honest. It's very hard for me. At a non-QB, there's a lot of QBs I could select. Yeah, this guy was dominating. This guy is really good. But when it comes to non-QB, it's kind of hard to find a player that did it as consistently. 13-time Pro Bowler, that's a lot. That's a lot of Pro Bowls, and putting up consistent statistics doing so. Shake Money, you got the Ian Rappaport report. What do you got for us? Anything? I see you looking down at your phone.
Of course, Michael K sends me this talking about how Bills played against the Bangio. They beat 48-19.
And that is your segment for Snooze Fest by the Bills. Exactly. That's exactly what talking about them does. Put me to sleep. That or makes me laugh, because that's what it is, laughable at this point. Let's keep going. So I'll end this. This is called What in the World, and what would What in the World be without a really weird sport, right? So over the weekend, I want to say it was Friday. Let me make sure it was Friday. No, this got reported on Thursday. I'm sorry. So Thursday, by the Mirror, which obviously this is kind of like the English version of the Inquirer, to be honest. World Gravy Wrestling Championships results revealed after hundreds of liters of gravy were used. That's right, the World Championship of Gravy Wrestling, which I didn't know existed.
Gravy wrestling?
Over the weekend. Gravy wrestling. They used hundreds and hundreds of liters of gravy, poured it into this thing, and you had hundreds and hundreds of contestants dressed up in different attire, wrestling outfits, and they wrestled it out. That's
how Bills fans settle their grievances.
Yeah, actually, it's not hundreds of there's about I want to say a good handful of contestants, mostly men. There was about 8 women from what I understood. So very interesting. I didn't know it was a thing. You know, you always think of mud wrestling, you never think of gravy wrestling. So yeah, side of that gravy there. How was it? You know, I'm just kidding. But I had to put it out there. What in the world in sports? It was one thing that popped up when I looked up weird sports. So interesting. Happened this weekend. Yeah. So let's keep it going. Make sure you hit like and subscribe. Turn on the notification bell. Our first hour is about up. Now we're going to get into the Miami Dolphin news. Are you ready, Fake Money? This is it. This is the week. We start our season Sunday. What, you excited?
Oh, of course, man.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. I'm excited too. Keep going.
Yeah, man. It's gonna be except I'm definitely excited for the watch party that's gonna be happening in Fort Myers.
Tell me more about that. Where's it at? Where can people go? Tell me.
It's the Keys Bar and Grill in Fort Myers, and as a matter of fact, this Wednesday I'm gonna be having Allie Dolfreaky on, and we're gonna go into more details about it. So she's gonna drop the info. It's gonna be a good time.
Okay,
It's
cool.
for all the away watch parties. Of course, obviously when it's a home game, she's gonna be at the game herself. So she does the away parties.
All right, so Dolfreaky's gonna be there. Do you know anyone else that's gonna be there, or is it just her
in the West Coast, Southwest Florida fan club, the Dolphin fan club.
So like Papa Paul and stuff?
No, Papa Paul, he's gonna be at Glory Days he's a West Coast Dolphin. She's Southwest.
Oh, okay, so this is Southwest.
Yeah.
Okay, so everybody that's part of the Southwest Club is gonna be there. Okay.
I'm gonna be doing I'm gonna be joining him for a couple of watch parties as well. So
pretty dope. So definitely you're gonna have to keep us updated how that went and everything. Definitely. So definitely check out stuff by Shake Money and shout out to Dolfreaky and everybody. So what is your prediction, Shake? Or do we have to wait for your show to see what your prediction is?
I predict that of course we're gonna be I'm gonna say, like I said, 24-17. Sanders misses 2 field goals.
Interesting. Damn. So you have us winning or losing 24-7?
Winning, of course. 28-7.
But he missed
17.
2 field goals.
Yeah, to make it, but we in 28.
Gotcha. All right, here's my prediction. And this is not really a homer take, so to speak, right? I have us winning, but it's not by the biggest margin. It's 28-24. I think we win this game, but it is going to be very hard fought. I am going to make a prediction. Brooks, you heard me say this. The undrafted free agent running back gets a touchdown. That's my he gets a rushing touchdown. That's my prediction.
And by the way, real quickly, 2018, the Bears beat the Bills 41-9. You know who the defensive coordinator was for the Bears? Big man Gio.
Yeah. There you go, Michael K. Argument over. Peace. Have a nice day. Come again. So yeah, that's my prediction. I think we'll win the game. This is going to be a really interesting season. I do have planned out giving you guys a prediction later this week before the game of how our win-loss record I think is going to be for every game. We're going to go over the whole schedule. But let's actually, that moves into our next segment here regarding the Dolphins. So ranking the Dolphins 2023 schedule by degree of difficulty. This is by Alan Poupar, right? He goes on to say, while we know beforehand the Miami Dolphins opponents and the sites, the release of the 2023 regular season schedule brought an additional layer when it comes to degree of difficulty. For example, there can be no argument that the road game against Kansas City Chiefs got slightly less challenging because it was scheduled for Frankfurt. This is true. Germany, instead of Arrowhead Stadium, and the game of Buffalo also is more favorable schedule for week 4 than says December. With in mind, here's our ranking of the 2023 schedule by degree of difficulty. Now I'm going to go them in reverse order because looking at his reverse order, it seems like he put the hardest first and then went down. I'm going to go the reverse order to make it more interesting. So the easiest game that on the schedule, he says, is versus Carolina, October 15th, week 6. This is number 17 on his list. Vic Fangio and his ability to disguise and what the defense is going to do. Not what he's. Hold on. Vic Fangio and his ability to disguise what the defense is doing until after the snap figures to prove a major challenge for first overall pick Bryce Young. Panthers have a lot of talent on defense and actually could contend in the weak NFC South, but this still looks like a favorable matchup for the Dolphins. Very interesting. September 24th, week 3 is number 16 versus Denver. Regardless of the season, the Dolphins will always have a big edge in September, home against its Denver Broncos, who will come to Hard Rock Stadium at this time of the year in 2023. The Broncos have some potential this season simply because of the arrival of Sean Payton as head coach, but this still looks like a favorable matchup for the Dolphins. Number 15 versus Las Vegas. This is November 19th, week 11. Given his injury history, the big question regarding the matchup at this time is whether Jimmy Garoppolo will be in the lineup for the Raiders, who might be the biggest mystery team in the AFC at this time. What do you think of the Raiders, Shake Money? Do you buy into this, that they're going to be in a better, improved team? You just saw their running back hold out forever and a day and finally has come to an agreement to come back and play for his team. They went ahead and traded Waller away. Devontae Adams throughout the offseason has rumored to want to go play for Aaron Rodgers. He doesn't want to be in a Vegas Raider anymore.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts? Like they wouldn't let Derek Carr leave, for Jimmy Garoppolo, which no offense to Garoppolo, but I rate Derek Carr higher than I do Jimmy Garoppolo. Just saying. What do you think?
We'll just have to agree to disagree there, because I think Jimmy Garoppolo is a better quarterback than Carr. Carr is one of those guys that I think I've seen Garoppolo be more clutch than Carr. Carr kind of is like a Kirk Cousins as far as choking. Yeah, he has talent, but as far as football IQ and proving it in big games, I think Jimmy Garoppolo has done it more than Derek Carr has.
Interesting. I mean, you are right in a sense, because Garoppolo has been to a Super Bowl. He's been to several NFC Championship games, but Garoppolo also has this. I'm made of glass, and I'll get injured in the most important game, like how we saw him get injured versus the 49ers against Miami. And we also he got injured the season he got traded to the 49ers. You know what I mean? 2 games in, he got injured when he was with New England. I think it was against Miami he got injured, I think. Wasn't it? Was it against Miami that he got the injury?
Who's that?
Garoppolo. When they
against the Dolphins.
Yeah, when New England played the Dolphins and he was playing against us, I think he got injured. That's where the start of his injury run throughout his career has been. And that's the only issue I have with him. If he doesn't get injured and he's consistent, then I would be, all behind you. But because of his injuries, and I want to say the fluke injuries that he gets at the wrong moments, that's where I'm kind of like, wow. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So we'll have to see what happens there. Let's keep it rolling here. So speaking of New England, number 14, October 29th, the Dolphins will wrap up their home series with Patriots before the end of the first half of the season. but the home game won't have quite the heat-generated home field advantage for the Dolphins that a September matchup at Hard Rock Stadium would have. True. However, I'm going to throw this out there, and this is why I just want this we won't get into the science of this, but there has been games out there, not just in Florida, also in New York, also in Ohio, and other places, where there's that random week or random day of like the weirdest, strangest weather in that area. Like in the middle of winter, there was a time when Ohio was in the 80s of all degrees, and it's like, I want to say like mid-November going into December, something like that. You know what I mean? So I've seen that happen before. We just had the summer of the most hottest days of the year happen. So the whole weather aspect is off. Could you imagine it'd be cooler in September, and then come October or even into December, it gets super hot again, Shake Money. You know what I mean? That could be. Let's go ahead and add this next guest. This is the guy, one of the newer members here up in the TFTG, and I want to shout out to him. We'll give him some good music. Here we go.
Man, on a mission, I'ma get it. You know I be on a what? Yeah. You know I be on a what?
What is up, Crypto?
Good morning, y'all.
Good morning, sir. Good morning. Welcome to the show. Appreciate it.
I woke up. I didn't know you guys were on at this time.
Oh yeah, it's all good, man. It was like last minute. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna have a show Monday holiday. Let's do it. You know, we started at 8 a.m., so not the 6 a.m. stuff that we usually do. But yeah, we're talking the difficulty of the season. Each game, and like from the easiest game to the hardest game. Right now, it's this list. We just talked about New England. Number 14 is on this list as the 14th hardest game. Actually, the 14th hardest game. And what?
Are they talking about a particular game? Because we played them twice. So,
well, this is the home game. This is the home game. And they're saying it's the 14th hardest one because even though it'll be a win for us, it may not have the advantage that we normally have with the weather being super hot or something to that effect, right? But the argument I brought to this is that, yeah, they say that it'll be cooler, and naturally they're correct. However, there are times when weather can be out of the ordinary in any city or state. I've seen in Ohio where it hit the 80s in the middle of the winter, for example. You know what I mean? You could have that fluke one day out of the year happen, and it could be just as bad for you. So all I'm saying is that, you know, just because it may seem that the warm weather might not be there, but this is Florida. We've had like the weirdest weather lately. We've had the hottest day of the year of ever in Florida throughout an entire summer. The whole weather aspect in Florida is going to be flipped upside down, in my opinion. What do you think? Do you think don't count your chickens all in one basket, or do you think they're right? Absolutely, like it's not going to be, the weather could not, be any different or the same or what?
Yeah, it could be.
Yeah, it's very possible. I think all I'm saying is I'm not saying it's a definite going to be hot weather. They could be definitely right. They probably are right. All I'm saying is just because it's not the same month doesn't mean it can't happen. That's basically what I'm saying. Let's keep it moving though. Washington is number 13 on this list. We have ranked this as the least challenging road game for 2023 for no other reasons than their projected starting quarterback at this time is second-year player Sam Howell, who has to prove he can be an effective NFL starter. I can see that. Listen, Washington is definitely have an up-and-coming team. They definitely have on the roster. Scary Terry is still scary. That's the reality of it. Former Ohio State Buckeye. Shout out to him. So what my point is that they still have a team. Their defense, especially their front line, is pretty good. I like their defensive end, Chase Young, that they have, another former Buckeye. They have some good talent there. I'm not gonna let these be trap games for us. We could say they're the easiest road game. We should destroy them and stuff. We saw Detroit stick with us for a whole half, ball for ball, going back and forth off with offensive play, being able to score on us, right? It wasn't until we finally, were able to control them defensively that we won that Detroit game. Let's not put that out there, right? So my point is that I don't want to sleep on any of these games. So I would take them seriously no matter what.
Well, to be fair with the Denver, at least with the Detroit Lions, man, their average last year they were averaging like 30 points, 35 points a game. So that offense wasn't no joke.
This is true. Their offense isn't a joke, but what did we hear from our fan base a lot during that season? Oh, that's Detroit. I got nothing to worry about. I'm putting all my eggs in the basket with the Miami on the bet. Detroit sucks. I don't know why we're wasting our time even talking about. Let's talk about the next game that's more important. You know what I mean?
They were doing a lot of that. That's what bite us in the butt.
And even when
I never do that.
Even when
I'm
I
liable
made
to
the
pick.
bet,
My bad.
hold on real quick. I apologize. I just want to get this across real quick. Crypto. Even when myself, which I started the bet, and then El Capitan and Color joined on, when we made the bet for the Detroit Lions winning the division, that was because I could see their vision. I saw where their talent was, and we got laughed at. They took the bet in a heartbeat, not expecting that offense to perform that way. You know what I mean? That they laughed at it. Not saying you shake money, but I'm talking about
okay. I was part of that because I was listen. I knew they were going to be better, but I didn't think they were going to win the division. That being better and winning the division are two different things. Just like the Jets, the Jets are going to be a lot better than what they were. Now, am I going to say they're going to win the division? No, but they're going to be a lot better.
The reason I kind of thought it could happen is because
I didn't pick the Jaguars. I just picked them to make the playoffs because I knew they was going to be the number one turnaround team. It's always one turnaround team that nobody expects. It's always a brand new playoff team at least once a year.
This is true. And see, for me, the reason I thought they had a chance to win that division was primarily because Green Bay, I already knew was not going to be the team anymore. They weren't the team that were going to run that division. I had no faith in Chicago, right? And then Minnesota was the only question mark I really had because they're one of those teams that could either be really good or just average or not good at all. You know what I mean? They're kind of like not consistent enough. You know what I mean? So I said they were a dark horse. I still think that it's their division to lose now this season. It's Detroit's division to lose because all the talent they have and everything, and they finally improved that defense. You know what I mean? That was their only issue last season, by the way, was the defense. They fixed that defense, they would have had a really solid team in a playoff run. That's just my opinion. I don't know what you guys think about that. So let's keep it moving though. Tennessee, December 11th, which is week 14. That's number 12. That's their next hardest team. The Titans have been among the most consistent teams in the AFC in recent years. And the question is whether they missed the playoffs last season because they're on the downside or because they've ravaged by injuries. This also could be Ryan Tannehill's last hurrah as quarterback, and the whole thing happening in Monday night setting makes it even better. Listen, I'm sorry. I have us beating Tennessee. I'm not worried about Ryan Tannehill. Derrick Henry, yeah, that's something I'm kind of worried about. I think we need to make sure we shore up on the run stop game and everything. But their receivers don't scare me at all, to be honest. I'm more scared of their running game. What do you guys think?
And we don't have to worry about the cold, the ice, hail, storm, and shit like that. So it's coming. It's going to be in Hard Rock Stadium. So
is it? Is it in Hard Rock?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So definitely, yeah, we'll have to see what happens there.
There'll be a more balanced team with D-Hop. I'm sure it will.
And here's the thing: we don't know if Tannehill is going to be the starter. that day.
That's true. That could be an injury.
It could be only by injury though, Shake.
Is Malik Willis still on their team?
He'll be starting if he's not injured.
No, if he starts stinking it up, they're gonna switch off him because they did that to Marcus Mariota. They're gonna do it to him.
Who else do they have? They have Malik Willis, and who's the other person? Will Levis?
I don't know.
I'm not sure.
I disagree with that.
You could disagree all you want. That's how I feel.
That's fine. A lot of people sleeping on Tennessee. They were number 1 in the league prior to Tannehill's injury.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have no reason to think they have a reason to potentially tank or do nothing crazy like people suggest.
No, they're retooling. But again, I could see them if Tannehill is choking, shitting the bed like he always does. They'll probably put him. They're gonna replace him.
Yeah, but the problem with that theory, Tannehill's really never synced to bed during the regular season. He's always gotten them in the playoffs.
I forgot they also picked up D-Hop. So
he only shits the bed when it comes maybe playoff time, but regular season play, teams are just some teams are just built for the regular season, and that's how I see it.
Yeah,
and Mike Vrabel's not the coach that's going to allow his team to give up on them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
especially when they're healthy.
You are right. They're kind of built to win their division, not necessarily for the playoffs, but for their division. They're definitely built.
Yeah, Will Mayo.
I'm looking here because I forgot they have D-Hop on their team, so their receiving core
has been upgraded.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, they have Will Levis and Malik Willis. It'll be interesting who becomes the starter if Ryan Tannehill goes out with injury.
I think only injury detours them. That's the only reason why Jacksonville won that division. A lot of people think it was all Jacksonville. Jacksonville was like 2-6 when they started the season. Tennessee was the opposite record, and they lost their last 6 games.
Yep.
Yeah, but looking at the list of receivers they have, there's only 3 receivers, not even 3 receivers, 2 receivers that I know of that you kind of keep your eye on. And one is D-Hop, the other one is Treylon Burks. I thought it was just Treylon Burks, and I was like, okay, we can handle that.
Yeah.
But DeAndre Hopkins is there too, and yeah, we're
They'll
gonna
be
have
more balanced.
Yeah,
you have to pay attention to both.
Who's their tight end they have?
Well, I'm gonna make a bold statement. I'm saying Ryan Tannehill is gonna be benched for Will Levis by the time we play him.
Oof. All right, you heard it from Shake Money. That's his prediction. We'll definitely have to see that.
Yeah, that is a bold take. They're 3 years removed from him being an AFC championship.
Mm-hmm. Let's keep it moving with this. Let's see who's the next on this list. Next on this list is the Giants game, October 8th, week 5. We're not quite sure what to make of the Giants, who look like the biggest overachievers last season. This is kind of interesting. Out of all the different teams, this is the one team that he only wrote one sentence for on this list by Alan Poupar. Like, he had nothing to say. So, I don't know. I think Giants are going to be, a competitor. They're very well coached at times, even with their lack of play at quarterback. I think they got better bringing in the tight end, Darren Waller. It'll be very interesting how they use him. I think the one issue that I do have with them, I think the receivers are not consistent enough. If they can fix that, I think they have definitely going to be very challenging. They do have a good running game with Saquon Barkley as long as he's not, injured or anything. What do you guys think of the Giants game? Week 8, it says.
6.
5. Week 5, October 8th. They'll still be hot in that game, in my opinion.
Yeah.
What do you guys got? What do you guys think?
I think it'll be an interesting game because it'll be more like a low-scoring slugfest type game. I'll be at that game, but it'll be slugfest. I think potential.
Yeah, that's the game I want to go to.
I think that's gonna be the game, but they're gonna attempt to take the air out of the room with Saquon and the mid-range passing game. and Daniel Jones' ability not to make mistakes, because he was the league leader in lowest interception percentage. So when he's asked to throw the ball, he doesn't turn over the ball. So it's going to be more like a grind out game.
Interesting. Yeah, I kind of agree with that. I think we have a good chance to win, but still, it's like Giants are one of those teams that you don't know which version you're getting, and
Yeah, you don't know what versions come, because I didn't really think they had the capability to go in Minnesota on the road in a playoff game and win. So
yeah,
that's just one of those things.
too. I had Minnesota winning that game also, so I agree. It's very, very interesting. What's gonna happen with them? I will say though, Miami Dolphin fans, buy your tickets for that game as soon as you can, because you want to take one advantage away. There's a lot of New Yorkers here in Florida, a lot of New Yorkers, and Giants fandom is very booming around my part specifically.
That's why they go vacation and party, right, Ali?
Yeah, so you want to make sure that you buy your tickets and make this a home game for our team, not an away game.
Right. That Viking game last year I was at was like a road game.
Bro, I'm not gonna lie, bro. The Viking game surprised me. There were a lot.
It felt like a road game. I was like, man.
And the one thing with the Buffalo fans, I'm not a Buffalo fan at all. I'm a Buffalo hater, right? Mm-hmm. But I will say they're well traveled. That's all I'm saying. They're very well traveled. But then again, are they really well traveled, or is there that many New Yorkers that just hate New York so much they have to move here?
Yeah, pretty much. That I'm going with the latter.
Go with the latter. Okay, I agree.
Right. They hate Buffalo that much.
Yeah. Number 10 on this list, Dallas, America's team, as they used to be called. December 24th. It's a Christmas Eve game, which I'm actually getting to go to this year. I'm very excited because didn't fall on Christmas Day, so I get to go. It's Week 16's game. Here's the shocker: the Cowboys will be entertaining the 2023 season with a lot of hype surrounding them. While Dallas often, maybe always, is overrated, the Cowboys still have some marquee players who can cause problems, starting with Micah Parsons and CeeDee Lamb. I agree with this. They are usually overrated. I think it's going to come down to is their quarterback healthy? Do we have the healthy version at quarterback? Who's their running back at the time? Is Tony Pollard, back, or is it, their drafted guy that they picked up? Those are the questions you're going to have. Their defense, is going to be able to bring it. Their defense is very consistent, very well coached. And, it's going to be very interesting. Dallas, I think, is going to be a tough game for us. Mm-hmm. What do you guys think?
I agree.
Yeah, I agree. It will be. They're probably more complete team at doing that stretch. One of the more complete teams. I agree. It's going to be tough.
Actually, what I'm more worried about is their pass rush against our offensive line.
You're right. That could be the one difference maker. Disrupting the timing by collapsing the offensive line.
Yeah, this is absolutely correct. That can be an issue. This is one of those games that we're a toss-up with. Either we can win it or we don't. Mm-hmm. My thing is that I think it's going to come down to Dallas's QB situation, because every year their quarterback makes coming back from injury, is all set to go, put in all the work, looks like he's going to have an amazing season, only to get injured or fumble the ball. Not really legitly, but I mean fumble the end of the season, essentially ruin it for themselves, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what has happened consistently. So I think it's going to come down to their quarterback. If he's healthy and out and playing and he's on fire, I think that game's going to be very tough for us.
And one thing I could say with fact, because I'm from Miami, I can say this with absolute fact. that, all right, you got your Buffalo Bills fans, your Jets fans, and your Giants fans. All of them are transplants that came to Florida, right? Now,
Mhm.
you're going to see a lot of Cowboys game fans at that game. A majority of them are Floridians, native Floridians that root for the Cowboys.
Yeah, Cowboys is one of those teams. There's a reason why they call it America's team, because Cowboy fans are all over, bro. They're all over the United States. You can go. I know there's a lot of Cowboy fans around these parts as well. I know if you go to Ohio, there's Cowboy fans. California, there's tons of them. Everywhere you go, there are Cowboy fans. So you'll see them. Not only are they well traveled, but they have fans embedded throughout the entire United States. That's kind of why that whole moniker of when they say America's team, they have a legit reason to say it.
Yeah, when I went to high school, a lot of these guys, a lot of the fans, my best friend Joe is a Cowboys fan. A lot of these fans that are Cowboy fans, like I said, I went to high school, were Cowboy fans, Steeler fans, and they were born and raised in Miami. So
yeah, in fact, my best friend who goes to the games with me, we both own our season tickets. You know, he's 50% of it, I'm the other 50%. He was a Cowboys fan that I converted to a Dolphins fan. You know what I mean? And forever and a day, I remember growing up, he was like, Cowboys this, and I'd banter and I'd say, yeah, Cowboys have already been eliminated from the playoffs, and it was already like the season hadn't even started yet, right? And that being said, you know, he finally decided, you know what, he has a newborn son, and he wanted to be able to go to football games with his son and whatnot. And he's like, you know what, I think I'm going to start becoming a Dolphins fan. I want to root for the local team. And because he lost faith with the Cowboys at some point, and he's been a Dolphin fan ever since. So I told him, I was like, how are you going to feel when we go against the Cowboys? It's like, I'm a Dolphin fan now, so the Cowboys can shove it. That's what he said. I thought it was funny. Let's keep it going, though. So the next team, this is a team I know a lot of people have been waiting for. Number 9 is the New York Jets on week 15, December 17th. Yes, we're expecting the Jets to be the playoff race to the end and actually get into the playoffs, if not win the AFC East title. This matchup won't be much easier than the one on Black Friday. What do you guys think? Do you think this game, how do you think this is going to go? I have us possibly splitting with the Jets. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I do.
They come down here, we play them, we win, we go up there, and then we lose. What do you guys think? That's about accurate?
About right. Yeah, that sounds about right for that type of matchup.
Yeah, I hope not, but yeah, I could see it happen that way.
Yeah. Well, do you have any other comments, any predictions in this game for week 15?
You said that's the week 15 game?
Yeah, it's week 15.
Yeah. Right after the Cowboys. So if we were to lose to the Cowboys, we're gonna have to look at that as a bounce back. If we win, then that'll be the momentum. Hopefully to be trying to clinch a playoff by that time.
Yeah, definitely.
Not like last year. That was, we're like, man, this is going to be the bounce back game. And then the next game became another one and kind of like snowballed.
Yeah. That's why your quarterback has to stay healthy, man.
We don't need the snowball games
all season. It's very rare that you can get a backup QB to fill in and, be able to maintain the same success for you. So,
however, I think this year, if that happens, the Skyler's second year in this offense, I don't think it'll be the same as far as getting cold turkey or cold feet, getting thrown in there unexpectedly. I think it'd be a little bit more better game planning for that situation.
Well, I would hope so.
Versus last year, being in there, thrown in there, very first play of the game of a game he hadn't prepared for, because he didn't get all the reps that week.
Yeah,
Because he's been expecting freaking Teddy Bridgewater to go out in the first play of the game.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Crypto.
Yeah, and it was close. It was close all the way to the fourth quarter. Then the pin dropped. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I definitely agree. I think this game is going to be a lot different. I would hope so, primarily because I would hope my coach would, learn from some of the mistakes they made last season when it came to the backup QB position. And that's why I think they ran their training camp the way they did, by interchanging players consistently, so everybody got to play at least with everybody. I think there was more to it just an evaluation standpoint. I think it came down to giving experience to different quarterbacks with different players, so when they finally came in, they have the chemistry, they have the camaraderie and everything with that other player, so he knows what his likes and dislikes are, and vice versa. You know what I mean?
By the way, did they release the official depth chart yet?
No, they haven't. I don't think so. Well, actually, let me check into that. Let me look into that.
It should be released. Because we're getting close to it. It should be Shake Money.
I don't know if it's anything different, but let me see. 1 second, I'm pulling it up. There's no hold on. Yeah, there's no difference. It looks like they're in the process of updating it, because I do see names that are missing. But it looks like the starting offense and defense is still the same. Because they still have Jalen Ramsey as the starting corner, and he's not going to be there till like what? Beginning of December, mid-November. And they have Cam Good on this team, and he's not. He's on the practice squad, so I don't know if they are keeping practice squad players on this. So they haven't updated it officially from the Miami Dolphins website, not yet. Let me see if ESPN's has changed at all. Nope, theirs are matching exactly what the Miami Dolphins website says. So I want to say it hasn't updated yet. Yes, even the ESPN one has Zeke Vandenberg, and we didn't even get to see anything from that guy. He went straight to IR because he got injured. Yeah. So maybe tomorrow. That's probably when you'll see the actual depth chart. Maybe it'll come out with the injury report. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Injury report and the depth chart same day. Let's keep it going though. So number 8, and this is week 1 at LA Chargers, September 10th, right? Based on the talent alone, this probably should be ranked higher because the Chargers have a lot of high-profile talent on their roster, but they don't have a nasty history of underachieving and losing games they should win. Another key factor here is, and why is this game isn't ranked higher, is that we expect the Dolphins to have a very strong fan presence at SoFi Stadium that day. So, just like a lot of the other teams, the Miami Dolphins are well-traveled, specifically in SoFi, because if you didn't know or never been to Los Angeles, like New York and a lot of other big cities, is really a goulash of different fan bases. That's what it is. There are a lot of, surprisingly, there are a lot of Miami fans in that area, in California, so to speak. We get a lot of people coming here on the show that live there. I talk to a lot of people that are 45 minutes away from there that I talk to that are Dolphin fans. So I do expect them to have a big presence there. It's an indoor game. It's against the Chargers. The Chargers have been known to whiff games. That is correct. I agree with that. They have their own question marks also. They have question marks at receiver. They're coming back from injuries that they had all last season. I think there's more pressure on Justin Herbert than there ever has been. in this game. And we'll have to see what happens. We'll have to see because now their defense is going to be fully healthy and ready to go. Our defense will be fully healthy, and I don't think we're going to have any question marks in the sense of Tua because it's not like he's coming back from a concussion or anything, so that won't be any type of issue for him. So
Right.
I expect everybody to play their best game, and we'll see who wins. Either we win this or we don't. That's basically what it comes down to. So, what do you guys think? I have us winning this game 28-24. I already talked to Shake Money earlier. That's what I got.
28-24. And this is the. I'm sorry. Which week we in? 16.
Week 1. Well, this is week 1.
Oh, you're talking about this today? Damn, my bad. I lost track.
Sorry.
This week. Okay, got you.
In the hierarchy of the easiest to strong, the most difficult game, this is the number charges number 8. So number 8 out of 17, they say this is the most difficult game so far.
That's right at the midpoint of the what they predicted our win-loss to be. That's ironic that they picked that one as the 8th.
Yeah.
Unless they're counting certain teams twice as more difficult. Is anybody in there counting twice?
Not yet. The Jets only came up once so far. And so did New England. So
Because I think Vegas had us at 9 or 7 losses or something like that. And the Chargers is like right at that point. So I guess everybody that's lower than 8th, they expecting us to win those games. Or 7, you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
That's right. That's interesting.
Yeah, I don't really have much to say about this game. All I know is that I think this game is going to be won in the trenches.
I don't know.
I think that's how you're going to win this game. I think both teams have strong talent at receiver, right? Both teams have decent talent at running back. Now, you could say Eckler is better than some of our running backs. Yes. Does he have the speed? No. But
overall, he's better than
the catching ability, so he's a dual threat, so to speak. He's not much of a running back. That's the thing. He's a running back playing receiver, and he doesn't run the ball very often. It's primarily on the receiving end. He gets a lot of his touches and also his stats, right? So he's one thing. Now they have 2 deep threats, which is Keenan Allen and they got the kid that they picked up from TSU. I think not Keenan Allen. What am I saying? Mike Williams and the kid from TCU are your deep threat. Mike Williams is kind of injury prone. The TCU kid, I think, is really just another Mike Williams. So we'll see what happens there. Keenan Allen is the guy that I think we need to, be careful of because he's more of your consistent go-to possession style receiver. You know what I mean? He makes
he made some great tough catches last year in that game.
But he's the clutch pass. Okay, first read gone, second read gone, third Keenan Allen. You know what I mean? That's how it is every time.
Yeah.
Right? He's consistent. And that's kind of what I think you got to be careful of. It'll be interesting if they put X on. And
first game that they'll be back together, playing together.
Yeah, and it'll be
last
really
year he was hurt.
Yeah, that's right. He was hurt most of the season. You're right. It'll be really interesting to see who they put as the second boundary corner on the Dolphins defense as well. Since Noah is no longer here, is it going to be Eli Apple? That's the big question. We'll have to find out. I'm very curious to see what happens there. Do you have any thoughts on this, Shake Money?
Who's going to be the second quarterback?
Well, no, like about the Chargers game in general.
Just hope that we don't make the same mistake as last year. That's all.
We need to score.
That's
We
the
need
part
to.
that's making me queasy. I don't know if 9 months of separation quite did it when you just getting out of the gates. Both teams is
Mm-hmm.
um,
No
being
excuse for both
separated
teams because both teams are going to be healthy.
for both game,
for the
right?
most part.
For the most part, both teams will have all of their original number ones that should have played in the last December game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, everybody will be fresh as far
I
as
think
right out of the gate. I
the
don't know
key
that
is
they have anybody that's injured and out for the season. That's a major guy,
yeah.
So we're gonna count. Technically, Ramsey is not being there, but Ramsey wasn't in that game last year neither. So
Mm-hmm.
we can't
Yeah.
use that as an excuse. We're just running it back with what we ran it back last year.
Yeah. Hold on one second. I'm looking for see if there's anything about the Chargers injury report yet or anything. So for me, the biggest thing for me is that the with the Miami Dolphins, the keys to winning this game is to win the trenches, right? Establish the running game, hold on to the ball. The longer possession you have, the better chance you have of winning this game. Primarily because the fact that I don't want to give the ball to Justin Herbert. Yes, they do throw interceptions, right? But I don't want them to have the last ball when it comes to the fourth quarter. I want to be the last ones with the ball, right? In addition to that, I think this is going to be a defensive game primarily because you look at their defense. Their defense is pretty good up front, and their secondary is pretty good. They have one of the best safeties in the league. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
that's kind of where I'm
that
at.
safety. That's the one they jumped ahead of us, right, Ali, and drafted. Was that was them, wasn't it? We was looking at a safety, and they went in and grabbed them. It was either this year or the year before. I remember.
Let me see when
They did it in the draft, and they nabbed our safety, and we ended up getting
it's
Byron
Derwin
Jones.
James is who I'm
Maybe.
thinking of.
Yeah.
Derwin James is the safety I'm talking about. He has 6
San Diego
years,
and the Jets did that to us.
but he's one of the best in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
So he didn't get to play in the game versus Miami last season, so they were out without him, and look how they did. So that's kind of what I'm saying. We need to make sure we play top game against them. Let's keep it going though, because I'm suffering for time here.
I'm gonna start mowing the lawn again, so I'll listen to you guys.
Okay.
All right, fins up,
Shake
guys.
Shake money. Hold on a second.
Okay.
If you can hop in an Uber after you finish yours and come finish off my lawn, top it off while you're in the mood.
Hey, Shake money. I lost my mouse. Give me a second. I gotta reboot real quick. Okay, can you just hold it down for a minute?
No problem. Yeah, for sure. Man.
Shake money's in the mood for mowing lawns. You can top off mine.
No, because if I don't mow my lawn now, that shit's gonna get out of control.
It does. And because a rainy day will come in and stop you when you postponed it, and then you have to wait even longer. Yeah, that happens to me all the time.
And that shit turns into a jungle. Oh my god.
Like a forest. Yeah. Like holy cow. Got a couple of more.
And pretty much that's what happened when in week what's that? When you guys beat us in Buffalo, we had a practice squad secondary as well. The only person we had healthy was Xavier Howard. So we had UDFA cornerback out there playing, and you only beat us by 3 points as well. So we didn't use that as an excuse. Don't worry, Michael.
Oh, he talking about that game? He talking about the Buffalo game?
Yeah, he's talking about the Buffalo game.
Michael K.
Yeah. The K stands for canary because he's chirping awful loud this morning.
Yep. The Michael Canary.
Mm-hmm.
I thought about I gotta figure out where I'm gonna store my propane tank that I'm gonna go ahead and buy. I might just wait until I can get it for a little cheaper. Well, it tend to go up in the winter time, so I might want to get it early.
And
About a
Buffaloes
week.
are spelled with 4 L's. So what's your point? Bills are spelled with 4 L's. What's your point? The
Yep.
K makes a canary, so you could spell it with a K too. So thank you. Come again.
Michael K., how do you feel about the Buffalo Bills winning 4 games this season?
Bills are spelled with 4 L's. You only spelled it with 2. So
To sync up with the 4 L's in the Super Bowl, they're going to win a whopping 4 games this season. And that's pushing it. Michael K., get ready. Buckle up. Buffalo demise is on the horizon. Now you know what the K stands for, Shake Money?
Uh-huh.
The Michael K, and the K stands for Michael Special K.
Special K?
Yes. He's a cornflake. So it's Michael Special K. He's a cornflake.
Yes.
Michael Special K.
Special K. Parquet.
Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry about that. Lost my mouse.
Ali, I just noticed your dolphin jacket you wearing. It looks like a modern version of some kind of general suit from a third world country. It looks like all you have to do is put some stars on the top of your shoulder.
It does kind of look like some fascist type of thing. You're right.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, it does.
You remember what was that movie? Demolition Man.
Right. It's like
it does look like that. You're right.
Yeah, put some stars on the top of it so you can say you're a general, and then put the ribbons on there so you can say you had some honor badges on there. All the medals on your breastplate. That'll be cool.
That's true. This is something I should probably get Captain to wear, because since he's the El Capitan of the show, you know what I mean?
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. That's actually, I should get him that type of jacket, dude.
That jacket, have a purple jacket with the insignias, what you call it, the medals.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Tell you what, his jacket would have more medals than the Buffalo Bills trophy case.
Exactly. It will.
I had to go there. Sorry.
More medals than that trophy case.
Yeah. So let's keep it going.
All right, fins up, guys.
Fins up,
man.
All
right, Shake Money.
Your lawn, man. Talk to you later.
All right, man.
See you.
All right, let's finish this up, and then we'll do some Q&A with the chat, and then we'll start looking at closing this down, Crypto. Okay.
Yeah.
So unless you want to continue with your show, because your show is what? Half an hour later.
11. Yeah, 11. I have to get set up, and I'll.
Yeah, so I'll give you a good hour to do that. So, so anyway, we talked about the Chargers. Now this is week 2. It's number 7 on this list at New England, right? Mm-hmm. Yes, the Patriots will be tricky because they're still the Patriots, even if they look like they belong a clear level below the other AFC East teams. And then they're the night game elements working in New England's favor. Mm-hmm. What do you think about this game, week 2 against New England? Do you think it's going to be a tough game? I guess against New England, it's always a tough game. But this season has been crazy this offseason. You saw them bring in the likes of Ezekiel Elliott, a running back that personally I think is washed. They did not keep any of their quarterbacks that were backups on their roster, 53-man roster. They cut them all. I think they brought in a kid from the Panthers. That'll be interesting to see what he does. They really didn't do very much this offseason to make any major, legitimate changes. They did talk to a lot of different players. They were interested in D-Hop. They were interested in Dalvin Cook. What do you think? What do you think they're gonna do? Like, what do you think of that game?
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, Ali.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's this. I'll tell you what. The summary of this season is a matrix. I mean, yeah, it's
good.
No, I'm just saying it's difficult because the further you go, let's say Jimmy Johnson used to divide the seasons up into quarters, like the first 4 games, the next 4, and so on and so forth. Like the first quarter, the first 4 games, you want to go above 500, and the further you go, the harder it gets to kind of project because you're only using it based on how they would be as if they played you the very next week. Let's say like that Giant game, for example, that's the first game of the second quarter, right, of football, and you 1 month away, and you trying to gauge where will the Giants be. Will they be on a 4-game win streak, or will they be on a 4-game losing streak, or would they be at break even, 2-2, right? Will both teams be at 2-2? What is at stake? So it gets harder and harder the further you get, because you will always have to base it on everybody being 100% healthy, and everybody what their schedule like and what would they be, what kind of momentum would they be on and stuff like that, and personnel. So it gets harder and harder. So when Shake Money say this schedule, whether the strength of schedule, it's kind of a crapshoot because you always going to be basing on what they did the previous year, and if they was to continue to be that same team. Cause remember, we played the 49ers and Rams that year. Some players was missing. The 49ers still had Garoppolo that game, but they were missing some key players. And we beat them. We scored like 40 points on them that game. But they counted that as a hard game against our schedule, strength of schedule. But it turned out by the time we played them, it was an easy game. By the time we rolled around and played them, you see what I'm saying? That was counted like, man, that's going to be a juggernaut of a game to win had San Francisco been at full strength. And it turned out to be one of our easiest games on the schedule. The further you go in the season. Now it's a little easier for the first 4 games to kind of gauge because you expect not too many people to be dropping like flies. However, it happened in the Buffalo game, the 3rd game of the season. Their secondary was dropping like flies even by week 3, so it got harder to predict the game like that. So yeah, it's a crapshoot.
Yeah, I agree. It's pretty interesting. Unlike the conversation that's going on in the chat about my haircut. I think
your haircut. I ain't even paying attention to the chat.
How I wear a toupee, supposedly, even though this is my real hair, bro. Here, I'm pulling it out. It's my real hair.
They said it's a toupee.
That's what Michael K is saying. I think he has a really issue with my hair, bro. This is the guy that questions when my hair was super long, if it was mine or not. I'm starting to wonder if maybe he's the guy that wears the toupee and he has some insecurity issues. Does my hair like make you insecure, Michael K? If that's the case, I apologize. I apologize that I'm not wearing a hat today, but it's all good. It's all good.
Yeah.
Sorry. I was looking at the chat and I was like, why are they talking about my hair of all things?
Your hair, it was like your haircut.
It is what it is. So anyway.
It's more perfect than Jimmy Johnson's hair, put it like that.
That's true. Yeah.
You always know he had that permanent spray or whatever he was using.
Yeah.
So it's more perfect than that, Ali.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, I agree. It's going to be really interesting. It's the Patriots. You never know what
I'll be at the first Patriot game.
Yeah, listen, they have
It's night game.
Yeah,
it's crazy. Why are we playing them two times at night?
It's kind of crazy.
I don't remember us ever doing that.
Yeah, usually
Do you ever recall us playing the same team at night? Both games.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's be real. Let's be real about this though, right? The Patriots actually have an offensive coordinator this year, right?
This time they have one. Yes.
I expect Bill O'Brien's offense to be in place. I expect them to be more efficient than they were before. I feel like it's not going to be the cluster bomb that we saw last season. They do have an upgraded tight end. I forgot about him, Mike Gesicki, right? They do have him on the roster.
Right.
But who else do they have? They didn't really bring in another top tier wide receiver talent, in my opinion. They didn't really upgrade their running back room, except they brought in Ezekiel Elliott, but I think he's washed. But then again, it's a Patriot offense, so you never know. They might do something there. I just think that they're going to be improved. So it's going to be a tougher game than last time. You're going to have to be more sharp. You're going to have to play, smarter. And also the coaching has to be smarter as well. And what I mean by that is, you're looking at Bill Belichick, the guy that can manipulate you, outplay you, outcoach you, and everything in every way. McDaniel's going to have to bring his coaching game when it comes to that game. He's going to have to make sure that he brings it as much as Bill Belichick does. Let's keep going though. The next team on the list is number 6, Baltimore, December 31st, week 17. I know you're going to be at that game, right? You're definitely going to that. Yeah.
Right. I'll be at that one.
You got, who do you have over there? You have Lamar Jackson signing a record-breaking contract, right? You have Zay Flowers, new and improved wide receiver. Zay Flowers, I hear, is starting to become the real deal around there. I believe they also have Rashad Bates, I think his name
Bateman, but still be there.
Yeah.
They signed Odell in free agency.
Yeah, they signed Odell. So the receiving core is there finally. They got the weapons now, and they already had a tight end with Mark Andrews already.
With Andrews already still there, yep.
Still there. The running game is still going to be
Passing green is definitely upgraded.
Yeah, the running game is still going to be a question for me. Not that they're not talented enough there. It's that they have to stay healthy. They've had back-to-back seasons where they got hit with injuries. They need to stay healthy. And
terrible.
Yeah, and if they do, it will be very it'll be a really crazy season. Not in a bad way, but like a really good season, I think, that Baltimore has ahead of them if they do. The defense is still very well coached. I think they have a lot of talent there as well. Yeah, what do you think about the Ravens? Do you think it's going to be a tough game, easy walk in the park? What do you think?
No, I actually think we might lose that game, but yeah, it's not going to be easy. Because they got. I'm not saying because of the revenge factor. I think because they've upgraded enough to where they can probably overcome the offensive woes late in the game that they may have had before. Them focusing more on the pass efficiency than running, because the run will always be there. As long as Lamar is healthy. Hell, even Tyler Huntley's been pretty good. He almost won a playoff game for him. He actually should have. That fumble return for touchdown. It's the reason why they lost that game. They fumbled on the goal line. The guy took it back for a touchdown. That was the difference in the game. Tyler Huntley would have actually won that game. So yeah, I think it's gonna be a tough one. Now that's probably the only game of the season that may be wet or moist or cold, not necessarily snow, but it could be. That game could be like the Tennessee game was 2 years ago, where the conditions can be pretty sloppy. You know how Buffalo was? It was just dry but cold, and it didn't snow until the very last quarter. Buffalo the Ravens game could be opposite. It could be raining, cold, freezing rain, or something like that. And changes the whole different element of the game where you may have to rely a little bit more on the run. And if you're not scoring touchdowns on the run, then that's when you really get in trouble. Because quality is kept. Technically, we were successful. Not technically, but we were successful owning the trenches in the first half of the Bills game, right? But it netted us an 8-point deficit. We wasn't scoring off those successful runs. So the passing game got us back in it and got us an 8-point lead. That's why I say I don't necessarily blame McDaniel for not running the ball at certain times. He just went to what worked. He leaned on what worked heavily for him and what got him there. So in that same game, it was like a game within the game. Well, Mike McDaniel had a passing game erase an 8-point deficit and gave him an 8-point lead, 16-point swing, because we wasn't really successful running, only by rushing yards. Our rushing yards didn't get us touchdowns. And that's what people lose sight of. You can run the ball all you want, but if you're not scoring touchdowns while you're running the clock out on yourself. You have to get in the end zone when you're running the ball. You have to cash them with the points.
That is true. That's one thing our running backs have lacked is the touchdowns in the end zone. And I hope that they turn it around this season.
Right, and start cashing them in.
Yeah, that's my biggest concern this season is, cashing in their touchdowns, because here's the reality. We already looked at the measurables. We looked at the average yardage. We looked at how many yards that our quarterback and our receivers are getting. And even when our running backs were running the ball, we got all this yardage, bro. We got record-breaking yards. We just never cashed in on the touchdowns enough, bro.
Yep.
All these chances and you didn't cash in. You need to cash in. Touchdown. You got to score touchdowns to win this game. And that's why a move like Jonathan Taylor made so much sense. The guy alone had as many touchdowns each season almost.
Yeah, he did. What, 31 or something like that?
Yeah.
30, 33, 30. Yeah.
Yeah, he had like 33 touchdowns, right? And
yeah, it was a ridiculous amount.
He has as much touchdowns as our entire running back room. You know what I mean?
Yep.
That's why I'm kind of like 11 touchdowns. Damn, I'd take it.
Yeah, it's insane.
I'm running out of time here, and I want to give you enough to set up for your show. So we got the next game is number 5, Buffalo, Week 18, January 6th or 7th, because it could be that game that they flex. That's why they put it there like that. This game could end up deciding the AFC East title, or at the very least, play a large role in playoff seedings. And it will be another major challenge, and the Bills will have Miller for this matchup, assuming no further health issues. Well, I don't really care if they had Miller or not, to be honest. You lost talent at defense, in my opinion. You didn't really bring in the depth that you actually needed or pure upgrades. I'm going to go out and say that I really don't care. I don't think Von Miller is really going to be that big of a difference for you guys. I also, in my opinion, no offense to your head coach, I also think you lost a lot of talent at defensive calling that you had with Frazier, to be honest. Yeah, it didn't work out for you guys, but there's a lot of other reasons that couldn't be worked out. We've even talked about that here on the Fins Tailgate, that really you guys used your defensive coordinator as a scapegoat. There's also rumors swirling around Buffalo Bills camp that their quarterback and their star wide receiver is not getting along at all. And that isn't a lie. I've been saying that from the beginning. And what happened? It ended up on ESPN. It ended up on Bleacher Report. It ended up on NFL.com, right? And it's the one thing that keeps coming back like a revolving door is these issues that supposedly your quarterback and your wide receiver have, even though they tried to hide it and say, "Oh no, I don't know what he's talking about." You can't tell me that Stephen A. Smith, a pro at his game and the information he brings, is just going to make up something and just throw it out there without looking into it, without confirming information. I think it's really that there was backlash on the information got out, and that's why your receiver tried to cover for your quarterback. Listen, there's no lie about it. The guy took the Buffalo Bills and all the information off his Instagram and everything, was twerking out tweets about with his brother, who happens to be the star defensive cornerback. I'm sorry for the Dallas Cowboys. The guy wants to leave, bro. I won't be surprised if he leaves after the season, or even by
After the season, yeah.
maybe even by the trade deadline. I could see him go, right? I think the Buffalo Bills are on a down. I don't care if the Buffalo Bills think I'm selling cars. Well, yeah, I am selling cars. And as Mr. Polk said, I'm selling cheap Buffalo Bills cars, the Pinto. You want a Pinto? I got one on the cheap for you. Because that's exactly what they are. A cheap team that's on the down. They have all the talk, but never can get you the distance. That's what it is. That's what it is. It looks all fancy, but you can't go the distance. And it's been proven year after year. I think, and there's a nice guy. He's a Buffalo Bills fan. He comes around nowadays. He says that that Josh Allen is the next Elway. I think Josh Allen is the next Dan Marino. He's never gonna get there, bro. And even if he does, he's not gonna win it. That's the reality of it. So he just won't have all the records or the arm talent that Dan Marino had. That'll be the other difference. Sal says Diggs can't leave. LOL. Hey, he wants to. I didn't say he could. He wants to, though. So, man, there's a lot of Buffalo Bills up in here all of a sudden. They were talking about my hair, that I'm a used car salesman. I think my hair has gotten more trends than some of the content we've been talking about, Crypto. What do you think?
Yeah, it was. Your hair's trending now.
Man, I think we just got
Social
raided
media.
by Buffalo Bills fans. Look at this.
Yep.
Holy shit. Somebody,
All these hairs trending.
look at this. I struck a nerve. They're that pissed, bro. Labor. Where you guys been? We've been talking smoke all off season, and now here they are, bro. They're lined up at the gates. Oh, let's keep it going, bro. So anyway, that was the number 5. Number 4 on list, we're gonna revisit the New York Jets, right? November 24th. I believe this is the Black Friday game, right?
Yeah.
The Jets become a dangerous team in 2023 after the addition of Aaron Rodgers, but the addition of Dalvin Cook made them even better because it fixed the potential issue of a 2022 rookie sensation Breece Hall not being able to fully rebound from ACL injury. The fact this will be the first Black Friday game in NFL history adds to the matchup, but this was going to be a charged up atmosphere regardless. So let me ask you this. Miami Dolphins in history have always been a strong Thanksgiving Day team. Do you think that they could maybe bring that history to the day after Thanksgiving, Black Friday? What do you think? Crypto, did I lose you?
No, they can. They can, but I'm not sure if they will, but on that day, again, given if everybody started as constructed now in that game, being a holiday game, a big time game, it'll be considered prime time. It's
a 3 o'clock game. It's a weird time too. It's not even
odd hour. What,
or whatever.
3 o'clock game or something like that?
Yeah, something really crazy like that.
And that's on a road game, so whew.
Yeah, listen.
Somebody coming in after Thanksgiving.
I said that we're going to split this. Either we lose one in Miami, we win one in New York, or we lose one in New York and we win one in Miami. That's
right.
that's what's going to happen. And Miami has had a strong history when it came to Thanksgiving Day games. They put up some really good games. They've won some really good ones and whatnot. Even though this is the day after Thanksgiving, the question will be, will they be able to perform? How will they bring the physicality? Will they still be off of the holiday? You know what I mean? That's why I don't like holiday games, because usually people are hanging out with their families, turkey dinner, and all that stuff, and doing the Black Friday shopping and whatnot.
Right.
Now, granted, they don't need to do that. They're professional players. They make millions of dollars. They can have somebody do all the shopping for them. That's true. They could definitely do that. But my point is that it's like a hangover, kind of. We say that, oh, are you still on the Super Bowl hangover? Or are they still on the holiday hangover? You know what I'm saying? That's what my question is when
Right.
it comes to Miami Dolphins. In my opinion, I think that the games between the Jets and Miami and the Buffalo Bills in Miami are going to be very close. I still think Miami can squeeze it out against Buffalo very easily. The Jets is the question I have. Do we have enough talent to squeeze it out them? They still have a top 5 defense. Don't get me wrong. They still do, right?
Right.
Have a deadly weapon at Garrett Wilson. I know him because he played for Ohio State. I've watched him his whole career, right? They have Aaron Rodgers. Obviously, the guy is 2-3 years removed as the MVP. The guy has an amazing arm, amazing talent, right? And then you look at their running game. Dalvin Cook is pretty good. You know what I mean? I don't think he's a world beater or a top 5 running back in my opinion, but he's still definitely a good running back, right? The questions I think in this game for the Jets are going to be their offensive line. Can their offensive line be, play to the performance they needed? And who do they have at tight end? Do they even have anybody really at tight end? I was thinking about this. I mean, you look at their other receivers, they have old man Randall Cobb and you have Lazard, who's been consistent for Aaron Rodgers, but those guys are old, man. Those guys are getting older. I kind of think we may have some good matchups there with our corners, personally. Yeah,
Right.
so, what do you think?
Yeah. I say, good matchups. Always historic matchups between the two franchises. I think we're like even, almost 57 and 56. This is pretty close historically against them. That's
Yeah.
that's what I think. There's always been historic matchups against them. We're pretty close. I think that's the only team in the league we're close to as far as win-loss being almost dead even.
Man, I really think that Michael K has this agenda against my hair, bro.
Against your hair?
Feeling so insecure about himself because of my hair that he has to attack me about it. Now he's talking about all that gray show up because you're worrying about the Dolphins win more than 7 games. Man, talking about my hair. Listen, all this gray hair comes from great wisdom and experience that I've had over a lifetime. I'm sorry if you haven't gotten laid yet, bro. It's a hell of an experience.
Right.
That being said, that being said, dude, I definitely agree. It's going to be a hell of a game. The Jets game, like I said, we're going to split it.
Yep.
It depends which Rodgers shows up. Here's the other thing, though. Aaron Rodgers has not had the best of success when it comes to playing against AFC East teams. Now, he had success against Miami lately, but can he do it against the Buffalo Bills or even the Jets, who have a top 5 defense? That's going to be, he's playing for the Jets, so obviously he can do it against them. But even the Patriots even had his number last season. So, I mean, we'll see what happens. We'll definitely see. Almost lost myself there. It got me thinking about Michael K and my hair, and I'm like, why does this guy have such an issue with my hair? Next team, number 3, Kansas City. It's in Frankfurt, November 5th. This went from a potentially tough game that I had an automatic loss to a game that, hey, we're playing this in a neutral ground. It's in Germany. You know, Miami can play in Germany decently. Um, you know, we have some.
Mm-hmm.
We may have a chance here. It's one of those games that either we win it or we don't. I kind of on the. I have a feeling this is going to be a tough game still. That's where I'm kind of at. But
Right.
out of the 2 games that I had losses before we knew the location, it was the Eagles game and the Kansas City game, right? So I knew these were going to be tough games. So
Mm-hmm.
it might be ridiculous not to have this game in the top spot, considering the Dolphins will have to deal with Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelsey, and company. But the neutral site will be very beneficial to the Dolphins, who should have more than their share of fans in the stands. The Chiefs' best defensive player, Chris Jones, remains away from the team days before the start of the regular season as he seeks new contract. But it's hard to imagine he won't be back with the team at some point. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
That whole Chris Jones debacle is getting kind of crazy. There's teams lining up that want to trade for him. I hear Dallas is really pushing among some of the teams. It'll be really interesting what happens with him. You know, could he maybe hold out till then? It's very possible. I mean, we'll see what happens. The biggest thing for me is this arguably could be the biggest game of the season overall in the NFL, not just for the Miami Dolphins. Being played in Germany. This game sold out in like 15 minutes, legitly, right? I know people that live in England that were in the queue trying to get tickets. There was over 1.5 million people still in queue, even when they sold out, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this is a game that's watched worldwide throughout Europe, United States, South America, and Asia, right? All eyes are going to be on it. All eyes are going to be on the NFL. It's like watching a Super Bowl without it being the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? That's why this game is going to be big, and that's why I think this game is going to be too tough for the Miami Dolphins. There's just too much. The neutral site was definitely beneficial, but at the same time, all that hype, all those eyes watching and everything, I think this could also be a AFC championship game preview. You know what I mean? That's the type of hype that it has behind it. You know, any thoughts on that? What do you think about that game, Berto?
The Chiefs.
Yeah, in Frankfurt.
Neutral site helped neutralized everything, but it's still going to be an uphill battle, given the circumstances, time of the year, and pressure. So, yeah, I don't know what the weather conditions are going to be like in Germany. I can guess what they will be. During that year, at the early November. I think it's gonna be one of those games where we're gonna have to. It's gonna be labeled a quote unquote big game for us as a team. Do we start to separate ourselves, or we fall to the pack in that game? And if we lose, it's just a matter of don't get outpaced. Don't let it be a stinker, Make it where you were competitive enough to say, if you meet again, you have a shot. You don't want it to be like, well, we meet again, you have no shot. You know what I'm saying? That's the objectivity of that game, because we only played them once, at that time. Only time we have a chance to play them again is in the playoffs. So that will have to be technically our Super Bowl per se, until we play them again in the playoffs. So we got to take that game serious, even though it's in a neutral site in another country. That's the way I look at that game. Who knows where Kansas City will be at that stage? Are they in the driver's seat of the conference, or they in a dogfight trying to make the playoffs themselves. So they have a lot to play for. Remember, at the point in which we played the Chargers last year, they were in the middle of a playoff run. They was trying to clinch when they played us that night, and they ended up clinching when they beat us. So it's Kansas City at that stage in that game in early November. Who knows? Depending on how everything shapes up in their division. So they can have a lot on the line at the same time we have a lot on the line. That's going to be a big game.
Yeah. You know, somebody said that it's too early. I think it was NFL Lit, our resident Chargers fan. Shout out to him. He says it's too early for it to be a game of the season. Maybe, but it depends on how this game ends up. If this ends up being a shootout,
it could be an important game for both teams, not necessarily of the season.
Yeah, but
it meaning both teams to try to separate themselves or to try to clinch a spot.
But if you have, this is the Mahomes versus Tyreek matchup that everybody has been waiting for. You know what I mean? If you have it, let's say Miami, for whatever reason, we put up, let's say the game ends up to being like 35-42 or something high scoring game, right?
Yeah.
Whatever, high scoring, both teams really close, 3 points wins the game, whatever, but it's really high scoring. That's a call for a game of the season, because that's a hell of a game. You know, going back and forth. You got Andy Reid, a Super Bowl winning coach, right? Mahomes, top GOAT NFL quarterback right now in the league, right? The elite of the elite is Mahomes, right? When it comes to quarterbacks, right? And he has this amazing talent around him that he's able to manipulate, especially led by Travis Kelce and some of his other receivers. But then you have Miami, top tier elite wide receivers, right? You got a really good defense. You got talent all over the place. You have an upcoming coach, who is known, for his, bravado when it comes to bringing an effective running game. And he showed it last season. We had definitely put up the yardage, definitely put up yards and whatnot. It's going to be really interesting to see what happens. You know what I mean?
Right.
The game is still going to be big regardless. I just think that depending on the score, it's going to be game of the season. Oh, it's color commentary. How's it going? Welcome to the show, sir.
Hey, what's up, Colin?
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning,
Sorry
sir.
the delay, Ali. I was ready to go at 6 o'clock, and then I was waking up at 10:20.
That's all good, bro. The show didn't start at 6. I had changed the schedule to 8.
I saw that, and I took that opportunity to just rest my eyes one more time, and that's all it took.
I understand. It happens to the best of us. It was
the old, I'm just gonna rest my eyes. I promise.
Yeah, go ahead. You go ahead and send me a link to the show so I can put it on my computer.
Yeah, and if you guys are wondering, especially the Buffalo Bills fans that are up in here, because we've gotten raided, or if you didn't know, we were raided by Buffalo Bills fans today.
Oh, really? All three of them?
All showed up. Because the MVP of the show was not the segments. It wasn't crypto. It wasn't me. It was my hair. The MVP to talk about was my hair. Michael K and his Buffalo Bills Goonies are all really scared of my hair, making them feel insecure about themselves.
Well, so they only got like 2 in their whole pack. So, I mean,
They only have 2 hairs? Damn.
No, 2 people, 2 Buffalo fans.
Oh, well, that's true. That's true. But they all, if you check out the chat, they flooded the whole thing. I don't know. Unless it's all Michael K's burner accounts. That could be it too.
Who knows?
You
guys have a few of them.
Yep. But anyway, so that being said, we're talking about the most easiest to most difficult Miami Dolphins game this season.
Don't you have work today, man? It's like 10. It's like 10:30, man.
You know what day today is, right, Color?
Oh yeah, I suppose. Yeah.
It's Labor Day. It's a holiday. I'm off, baby.
Right.
So I do have to go though pretty shortly. So we're gonna end this. So that gives you guys time to start up for the next show. So be ready in a half an hour. Crypto and Color going. Check out his show. Definitely.
This Crypto and Lewis. It's Monday.
Oh, Crypto and Lewis. I'm sorry. Crypto and Lewis.
But I will be there.
Yeah. But anyway, let's keep it going. We just talked about Kansas City Frankfurt game. I said it's going to be one of the biggest games, if not game of the season-esque, like it could be. It could be game of the season, to be honest, for the regular season. Number 2, Buffalo Bills fans are going to be happy about this. Week 4, October 1st. Until proven otherwise, any team hoping to win the AFC East has to take care of the Bills, and trying to defeat Josh Allen and company in Buffalo always is a formidable task. Though the Dolphins did come close twice last season in the regular season and in the playoff, Buffalo will not have star pass rusher Von Miller for this game because he started the season on the reserve pup list. But even then, the Buffalo Bills have enough depth that they traded former second-round pick Boogie Basham last week. So, that being said, it is going to be a tough game. Any game you play against Buffalo will be tough. But I don't think their tough is the tough as of old. And what I mean by that is they're not the same team anymore, right? They're getting older. Your star older defender is now hurt. You look at their receiving core. You have Stephon Diggs, who doesn't want to be there anymore. I don't care what the pundits say. I don't care what Buffalo has to say about him. Oh, he wants to play with us. I don't know what you're talking about. Though Stephen A. Smith, a prominent person in the media, called you guys out and said that he wants out, right? Though Stephon Diggs took all of his info about Buffalo Bills off of his Instagram, though he talked shit about your team, and you guys still gave him the pass, right? All this stuff happened, but I guess it doesn't exist, right? Whatever, right? Doesn't matter to me. You didn't really bring in talent that you really needed on this team. You have question marks at defensive line, who personally I think you overpaid Ed Reed, but that's just me. Or Oliver Reed, I'm sorry. Who else? You didn't bring in a new linebacker before you let the other one go to the Buffalo Bills. You re-signed Poyer, who's 31 now? Yeah, we were interested, but I'm glad we didn't go that route personally. What else, Lewis? I see you up here. What's going on, Lewis? We're talking smack about Buffalo Bills right now. In my opinion, I think you downgraded at defensive coordinator by letting your head coach be the defensive coordinator now and letting Frazier go and using him as a scapegoat. How about that? You can tell me I'm talking shit about it, but no, I think the problems actually exist within your coaching staff is the reason that if Frazier and company didn't work out at defense. I think now that you have your head coach calling defense, it's not going to be the same. They're going to be sloppy at times. You know what I mean? So whatever. You got me on a tangent about Buffalo Bills. I say this game is winnable. I just think it's funny you guys had to run away from the sun, so the NFL had to step in. That's the reality of it. What do you think, Lewis? We'll start with you since you're new to the panel.
About are we talking Dolphins Bills? Is that what
we're talking about? We've gone over the list of the most easiest to the hardest games of each in the schedule, and basically this is by Alan Poupar. He has the number 2 hardest game of the season is going to be Buffalo Bills at Buffalo week 4. What do you think?
I think there's certain games I'm looking on this schedule, Ali, that I think Miami shows up for, right? Mm-hmm. And I believe Buffalo is one of those games. I think we go in there, and everything you said, I completely agree with. They can make all the excuses they won in Buffalo. But the fact of the matter is, Leslie Frazier is going to be a big loss for him. You can't tell me that a DC that had this defense in the top 5 to 10 range for the past 3 seasons is not a big loss. They can blame them all they want, but we all know that's not the case. Josh Allen is a fraud. I think everybody's finally starting to figure that out. And Coach McDermott, I believe, or McCormick, whatever his name is, this will be his last year in Buffalo. So, I mean, that's my opinion on it. I think we sweep the Buffalo Bills this season. And, I mean, it's easy for me. I'm not scared of Buffalo this year. I was on a panel, whatever panel it was. I don't even know. I go so many places. I think Buffalo is 3rd in this division, if I had to be honest.
It's true though. It
I
is
have
true.
to
They are
disagree,
third.
Lewis. Third, I think you're giving them way too much credit at third, man.
There you go.
Oh.
There you go. There you go.
Okay. Yeah,
Absolutely.
I see what you're saying. I see what you're rating New England higher than Buffalo. I see what you're doing. Listen. The reality is that Buffalo Bills, I think, are going to be a soap opera played out live on the NFL. The NFL has hand cuddled them through every situation, gave them every benefit, every advantage, even a game that was snowed out that they couldn't play at home. They gave them an undefining advantage by letting them play in an indoor stadium, Detroit, right? And let them stay there to play the next week. So not only did they get to play in Detroit and win against the Browns, they got to stay there, get used to that stadium and environment, and then play against Detroit. That's an unfair advantage against Detroit, personally. You know what I mean? So I think that's kind of messed up that the NFL continuously does this. Your fans complained about the sun, and now your players are trying to complain about it. So, oh, we're going to call OSHA on you and blah, 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 blah. It's a natural act of God that we're going to complain about and you have some control over, right? And you have to come up with every excuse. You know what I mean? This is the team that you saw their offensive coordinator look like he was having a hissy fit, like his panties were so far up his ass, and he had to slam his computer and all the shit all over the place. Yeah, good job. Very professional there. Great. Good job, Buffalo. Good job. Listen, hide your kids, hide your tables, because that's the only thing that Buffalo knows how to do is pretend that they have some badass team and lead your kids, because that's what they are, a bunch of uneducated kids, into the stadium and root for a team that's nothing but shit, right? That mistakenly found what wings are, but no offense, Buffalo wings are not even that great anymore. There's other cities and states that made buffalo wings, or actually I shouldn't even call them that, wings in general, that are much better, right? Your pizza's crap. There's nothing great about your city. And yeah, your team is shit. That's all I can say. I can keep going on, but I don't want to extend this even further. I want to get to the next team because I think the next team deserves more respect than Buffalo. Oh. So.
I agree.
Who pissed in your fluty flakes, man?
Dude, they made the freaking show about my fucking hair, and it's pissed me off a little bit. So whatever. Look, if you're that insecure about my hair, I'm sorry, man. I know I'm good looking and all, and I know you guys like looking at me, but geez, no, calm it down a little bit.
I mean, for the record, I came in, Ali, and I'm not trying to go, off top. Well, I guess it's on topic now.
Yeah,
I thought your haircut looked good, bro.
Thanks,
Yeah,
man.
I don't know why people are making a big deal about it.
Dude, they made their whole argument about why we suck was because of my hair, bro. I'm like, are you fucking
and then of course the TFTG audience is not shy in piling on,
You're gonna make fun of my haircut too? Is my beard too long? Like, what are we doing here? Grow up.
I wish I had the beard game, bro. I can't grow the
Not gonna lie, that beard does sort of intimidate me, bro. I'm just not gonna lie.
I like it. I like
it. The beard is starting to come together, boys.
I love it a lot. I wish I could do that. I can grow facial hair. I could. But yeah, so that being
you make a Halloween mask out of that thing pretty soon, man.
It's getting there, color. It is definitely getting there.
Now, the last team I'm going to go over, in my opinion, they do have one of the most complete teams. And even though they let a lot of people leave this past offseason, they brought in a lot of players. So right where you think they left off, they just recharged, right? And they made it to the Super Bowl. And I said that this was one of the teams that I felt that could give Kansas City a run for their money because of the team that they have in place. And that's the Philadelphia Eagles. October 22nd, week 7, right? That's the #1 toughest game of the season, in my opinion. This game, I have it as a loss, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sorry, I do. But it's very interesting. The second of 2 scheduled Sunday night games for the Miami Dolphins. There could be others added through the flex scheduling. Will send them to Philadelphia to face the defending NFC Championship Eagles. And road games in primetime is challenging. It's even more so against what might be the deepest team in the NFL. The Tua battle against former college teammate Jalen Hurts should be fun, though, according to Alan Pupar. I agree. It should be fun. It'll be really interesting. We'll see this rivalry, revamp, and you'll get Alabama fans and Tua fans and Miami Dolphin fans and Eagle fans going. You know what I mean? The Eagles fans bring it 100%. I expect the Miami Dolphin fans to bring it 100%. The Eagles are a tough team. They are built from top to bottom. They have a very good offensive line, one of the best. They have a really good defensive line, right? Even without the losses that they had on defense, their defense is still really good and stout. It's going to be very interesting. What do you guys think of that game?
Anybody want to take it first, or I guess I'll go, Ali. I'm with you. I believe that game is week 7, I believe.
Week 7. You're correct.
Yeah, I got that as a loss as well, Ali, if I'm going to be completely honest. But with the caveat is, I believe, and I guess this is what I'm going to do now, I have Miami meeting Philadelphia in this year's Super Bowl. So I believe the Miami Dolphins lose week 7 to Philadelphia. But ultimately, we get our revenge in Super Bowl. And the Miami Dolphins, the Miami Dolphins and Philadelphia Eagles get another matchup in the Super Bowl where the Miami Dolphins take that one. So that's my thought. But I'm with you, Ali. I think roster-wise, Philly has probably one of the best teams on paper. Again, everybody is on paper as of right now. No games have been played. But you look up and down that roster. Offensively, we know what they're about. Defensively, we know what they're about. I just think they're a sound football team, and I think Miami goes in with a good record into that game in week 7. But I do think ultimately we end up taking a loss that Sunday night.
Mm-hmm.
I tend to agree. I think that so far to me is probably, like, even with the Chiefs, I think that the Eagles is probably the toughest game on our schedule right now. Like, that game is, to me, a game that I don't expect to win. And I think I like Lewis's take. I think we're going to roll in possibly even undefeated at that point. And that's going to be the game that might bring us back down to earth a little bit. You know what I mean? But, like you said, it's a sound football team, and they got depth all the way across the roster. So,
Listen, this is where I'm at real quick. No, I'll let Crypto go first. I'll go last. Go ahead, Crypto. Go ahead.
No, I'll come in on the tail end of that. The key word you said was depth on the roster, because at that stage of the season, I would say depth will probably become more of a factor in games as you get closer to the middle and latter part of the season. So the team that tends to be the deepest tend to be the ones that win those games, those hard-fought games, because it'll come to the second and third level players. And that's the edge that Philly have over us at this stage. Trench warfare, they had 4 guys. I know one of them's gone with at least double-digit sacks, and they replaced them with 2 studs in the draft. So they kind of like not even missing a beat when it comes to the depth as far as in the trenches. And they're just bullies up front when it comes to their offensive line, and that nearly impossible play to stop that they run when they get that bunch formation and the quarterback sneak.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on, Crypto. I don't mean to interrupt you, but I need to address this real quick.
All right.
Any of the mods out there, if you see people using the LGBTQ and all that kind of stuff in a negative manner, it doesn't matter if you're making fun of somebody or something like that. I don't care. I'm not part of that community, but I don't want to see that in my chat. So go ahead and time those people out, please. I don't want to see that in my chat at all. This is a TFTG is an inclusive channel. It is not a exclusive channel at all. This is a channel for everybody. I don't care what part of the community you're part of. I don't care if you're, what race you are. I do not care. We do not discriminate here, right? So do me a favor, come up with a different comeback to make fun of me about. Don't use them, or don't use some race or group of that kind. Come up with something original. What I talked about was your crappy city, your crappy team, and your crappy takes about my hair. That's it. Thank you. Continue, Crypto. I apologize from the highest honor. I am so sorry.
No, you did what you had to do. I ain't got no issue with that. You said what you had to say, and I agree with you 100%.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is, too. Besides the fact that our partners at YouTube don't really care for a lot of that talk either, and they are our hosts. They are all of our hosts, and we have to respect our host. It is the nature of the guest-host relationship. That is our obligation as guests to YouTube to respect their guidelines and whatever else. It is what it is. If there was another platform that offered all kinds of great fast servers for hosting, then we wouldn't have to be that way. But that is what it is. So, it is what it is. So, and not to mention that with good reason. So it's football here. It's Miami Dolphins. Come at people for that. Come at people for the city of Miami. Don't come at people for their preferences and nonsense like that. You know what I mean?
We're just not going to be a discriminative channel. We're not going to be associated with that crap.
Start up a YouTube channel and talk about it if that's what you want to do. You know what I mean? But just don't bring it. I'm
not going to do it. I understand you guys are.
We got enough on our plate to deal with.
Let's be real, Color. I'm not the one necessarily taking offense to it because I know who I am and whatnot. But at the same time, there are people in this that are watching that may take offense to that.
Well, not only that, but you should take offense to it because people know where they're at right now. People know they're on YouTube, and people know how YouTube feels about that kind of thing. So it is kind of offensive to say, hey, I'm not going to worry about what happens to your channel, even though I sit here and watch your content every day. And I'm just going to say and do whatever I want in chat and jeopardize the ability for us to bring content to people. That is insulting.
Yeah.
I mean, it is. Yeah. We have so much on our plate to deal with to do these shows, man. We just don't need to be dealing with YouTube on that level. Or much less society, We already got 2 and-ear mobs showing up at their door. We don't need other mobs.
All right. Yeah.
Can you add mod Crypto? Not Crypto, Color, I'm sorry. Can you add mods?
I can, and I believe you can as well. But you have to do it. You have to do it through the YouTube Studio interface.
Okay, I'll have to add you, Mr. Falk. I see you there. Okay. That being said, let me just give you my take on the New England. Not New England. Got me off my kilter here. Let me go ahead and give you my take about the Philadelphia Eagles game. Right. The Eagles, in my opinion, have a really strong team, right? They have AJ Brown, who I think is one of the best receivers. They got Slim Reaper, Devontae Smith. They have they have a lot of talent. They have Dallas Goedert at tight end. There's a new tight end they just traded for that's really good too. I can't think of his name, from the Broncos. I think they got him. They have a really good offensive line, right? Up and down that team has depth. I did say prior to Ramsey going down that we could go 14-3, and Kansas City and the Philadelphia Eagles were my 2 losses for sure, and Jets I said we would split with. But now without Ramsey, it's shifted a little bit. I'm more of a 13-4 kind of guy. I think we are going to drop another game somewhere. I do think it's going to be.
Oh, by the way, Ali, I'll be at that game.
You're at every game. I know you are. I know you're at that game for sure.
You going to
that's
Philly?
Only like what? That's only like a train ride away, right? Like a couple hours.
Yeah, it's
away.
It's about 3 hours away, roughly 3 to 3.5 hours away. I'll be right there in the stands.
Wouldn't mind going to that one. The old Capitol, man. That's a lot of history there.
A lot of history in Philadelphia. That's a city full of history.
It's the first Capitol, ain't it?
You can go, yeah. And you can go down the road for a couple of hours and go to Hershey, Pennsylvania, and go get you a nice little Hershey bar.
The
The
Hershey
original
plant.
Hershey's Kisses.
Oh yeah.
That game,
like
listen, that game is going to be tough for everybody. It's going to be tough for
That's
us.
why I'm spending the night overnight. I'm getting a hotel because it's gonna be.
You go to the
It could
Hershey
be a
plant.
long night.
Yo, I'm not gonna lie. I've got to make effort to get there because I wouldn't mind going to the Hershey plant with Crypto, like Crypto and Color touring the Hershey plant. That would just be funny as all hell. But
Yep.
the Hershey plant is like the real life version of the Willy Wonka's chocolate factory, right? Is that where
Yeah, it is. Yep, it's the real life version of it.
Color. Do you want to raid everybody over to your show or to the other show, the
Crypto
show? Lewis
Yeah,
and
we
Crypto.
could.
Yeah, if you can start that up so we can raid everyone over.
Okay.
I don't know how to do it. I've never.
Yeah, let me get in the weeds and refresh my memory while you're talking. Go ahead.
No worries, because we're gonna start closing it down. Yeah, so that's my thing.
Just send me the link so I can port it over to my computer so I can have everything on my computer.
Sure thing.
All right, so you're gonna come back and let us know when what you have to do for
Well,
that, right?
I'm gonna be here while I'm doing it, so
okay.
yeah,
We'll do both at the same time. Okay.
I'll keep you abreast.
No worries. All right, so we're gonna try to raid all of everyone that's watching currently, the 50 people watching. We're gonna try to raid you over to Lewis and Crypto's show that's going on, and I can't wait to watch that show. But I want to give final thoughts on top of the tailgate. So we talked primarily about the season, our easiest games to the strong, the most hardest games. Final thoughts. Not only do I want you to give me your final thoughts, but I want you to tell me what your final record prediction is going to be, and we'll start with you, Crypto.
My final record is I have us at 11-6.
11-6. Okay.
Yeah, I'm more like around the 11 to 12 win range, so I'll say 11-6 for now.
Okay. What do you guys like? What are your final thoughts? Anything you want to bring to the table? Want to hype everyone up for your show? Or what's going on?
Yeah, I could say, well, since we got a Charger game, why not just talk about epic Charger Dolphins matchups throughout history? We'll talk about the biggest game that they had in history, and then we'll bring it back to the most recent one.
Cool.
As far as settling scores between the two teams. That's how we'll talk about that. It's gonna be fun. These two teams have a lot of history, whether people know it or not. Especially to be non-divisional game.
Yeah, I can't wait. It'll be really interesting to see what happens. I'm very excited for the Chargers game, so I'm right there with you. Lewis, give me your final thoughts and what your final record prediction is.
Final record prediction. I have us going 12-5. I have us winning the AFC East. So I believe Miami will be in the playoffs. I believe for the first time in a long time, Miami will be hosting a playoff game that I'm pretty sure Ali, you will be at, Color, you will be at, and I know I will definitely be at. And just looking forward to the season, man. I think it's good to have football back. We've done all the nonsense. We put in all the work in the off season, fighting and arguing. Now it's time to come together because football is here, gentlemen. And as long as our Miami Dolphins stay healthy, and it's always if it seems like with this football team, but if all the ifs come true that we've been talking about, this team is going to be a hard out in the NFL. I think we are poised to make a run, and I believe in my heart, and that's all I can go off, that the Miami Dolphins, it's time. The time is now, and that's what I'm looking forward to. So I appreciate the show, Ali. I appreciate all the hard work that you've done during the offseason with Color and the top of the tailgates and the exhales and the late night exhales. And the hard work has finally paid off. So I appreciate you letting me on. I appreciate the Fins Tailgate for giving me this platform. And let's go Dolphins, man.
That's right. Yeah. Let's go Dolphins. Color, are you still with us?
Yeah, I'm getting there, bro. It's not in the same place I thought it was. I'm getting there though. Don't worry.
Okay,
It'll just take me a couple more minutes.
Direct everyone to go over to the next show. That's what we can do if we can't do it.
All right, no
but
problem.
Hey guys,
I'm getting
what's
there
up?
now. Almost.
Wait a minute, who was that? That was
Who was
Pam?
that? Is that you?
Sounded like Pam.
That was my special instructor.
Oh, you're watching. Oh, it came through on the stream, dude. I was like,
it sounded like Pam.
Here. I was like, I don't see anyone else. Oh, that's funny. Color, what's your final thought and last updated win-loss prediction for the season?
I haven't made a prediction yet. I'm still on expectation. And my expectation is still 13-4.
Mm-hmm.
13-4. All right, I'm kind of that 13-4. I'll go with
expectation versus prediction. Yeah.
Listen, I'm 13-4 also. However, that's my expectation. But I do kind of see it like Lewis. I think we can go 12-5, definitely. Or even or 11-6, for example. It could happen as well. I'm kind of at that point. That's where I'm at. But at the same time, I do hope I know we'll make the playoffs. I do hope we'll have a home game to play in, though. That's what I'm really hoping for. And I will be at that game. I'll be at every playoff game if we make the playoffs. Let alone I'll be at the Super Bowl too, for sure. So.
I know why I didn't see it right, because I'm using the browser that I was having a problem with still, Ali. Let me get over to my Chrome browser.
All right.
I guess it's more than just the problem you and I were seeing out of that browser. Like, it's not populating all the settings content either on that browser. I don't know why, but let me get over to Chrome here real quick. And
Gotcha.
It should actually have the function this time. When I go right into here, let me make sure I copied the link here. Smoke Lounge, where is it here? TMI Tuesday. Crypto show, is that the one right there? September 4th scheduled. That looks like the one.
Yeah.
Right. Let me copy.
Shout out to everybody that's in the chat. Shout out to everyone. So what happens, Color, when you start it and you raid everybody over? Do they get a link to click on? Like, how does it work?
Yeah, it's gonna basically pop up in the chat right here to give you a quick, easy way to get over to that channel or to that stream. Basically, here you'll see it here in just a second. Let me edit there. Let me go into here. Still not populating my sidebar. Why not? Okay, Ali, you might have to see if it's giving you the same problem, because I don't know why it's not populating my sidebar in the settings.
I gotta go to YouTube Studio. Is that where I gotta go?
Yeah. Go into the studio.
Hold on. All right, and now I'm going to YouTube Studio.
What's up, EM? I'm not turned up yet. I haven't been drinking.
Oh, here. Okay. Wait.
I'll get turned up in a minute.
Okay, that's good.
I'm gonna get me a shot.
Yeah, see, I'm getting the same thing in Chrome now too. The oops, something went wrong. Remember that, Ali? I don't know what it is with that freaking computer, bro. It just like, I mean,
you already sent the link.
Every single browser, you know what I mean. So let me try my desktop, see if it's there.
Yeah.
Too.
Anyway,
you already sent me the link, Color.
No. Let me pull up that phone link real quick. I can get that into the text.
So, Color, I'm here at.
Yeah, I'm gonna share it to myself so I can put it on the screen.
Okay, so you go in, Ali, into the the live where you would chat and all that for this show.
Okay.
By the way, this is also a YouTube instructional this morning, so y'all need to be taking notes. This is how you do it.
Wait a minute. Do I have to be in YouTube or YouTube Studio?
In the studio. So when you go to the live broadcast and you actually go into today's broadcast, right, where you can, add a poll and all that kind of stuff.
Hold on. I'm gonna go to the YouTube Studio.
They won't even do it on this computer. That's just absolutely amazing.
Yeah, we're just gonna have to tell everyone to go over to that.
You're gonna be fine. It's my browser. I don't know why it's doing that, man.
It's not letting me get to our live show though.
Okay, so when you go to where on the sidebar of the main studio where it says content,
yeah,
you click on content.
Okay, then I go to live.
And no, you go to live and then click on the little, looks like a little Wi-Fi symbol. View live control room.
Oh, hold on. I don't see that.
On the list of all the channel content, if you hover over the show, just hover over the show, it'll change it'll give you a bunch of little.
Okay.
Right.
I see it. Yeah. All right.
Click on that little Wi-Fi symbol.
Okay.
And then go up to edit.
Go to edits. Edit. Okay.
Now it should pull up an edit settings, and you should have stuff options on the sidebar where I don't for some reason.
I have details, customization, or monetization.
That part right there is not populating on any browser I use for some reason. I have no idea why. It makes no sense to me whatsoever because it's fine. Like 2 days from now, it'll be fine. But so then you go down into what are the three options again?
I think I found it. I'm at the part now where I have to choose a video. Which one is it I'm selecting?
That's going to be
season opener preview.
I'm sorry.
Is it called season opener preview?
It should start with crypto something or other scheduled for the 4th. I think the preview is tonight's show or something, but it's crypto and Rabid Dolphin.
Yes, this is it. 11 a.m.
Right.
I got it.
Right.
Now I just hit save afterwards.
I believe so, and it should actually pop up a message to everybody in chat with the link to the other show. Like it'll say, "Do you want to go right over there?"
Like, do I have to shut my? Is that show live? Does it? You have to be live over there or no?
I'm not. I don't believe so. You could be, but I don't believe so.
As I just did it and redirects allow you to keep. You can keep. Hold on, let me read this real quick. Oh, so it will redirect them after my show has ended.
As soon as we end, everybody left in chat. You know how there's still people lingering in chat. When the show ends, that's when it'll pop up a message for them, basically, to be able to quickly get over. It's sort of like posting the link, but it's just the timing is done right when you end the show.
Yeah.
What's up, Fake Money?
Hey, what's going on? Hey, I sent you the link on via text.
What?
Crypto. Your link, your StreamYard link should be in the text message.
Yeah, your StreamYard link is there now.
I'm in the studio right now. If you want me to start it up, I'll start it up.
Yeah, you can go ahead and start it up. I'm gonna go ahead and end now.
Okay.
But thank you all for coming out. Thanks, Shake Money. Thank Crypto,
right.
Lewis, and Color. Thank you all for coming on and be on this holiday special. I appreciate everybody. As soon as I end this, you guys are all going to be redirected to Crypto and Lewis's show. But without ado, we'll see you tomorrow, 6 a.m. Me and Color. I'm going to be going live. But till then, ends up, everybody.
Yeah.